Hello, all, and welcome. This is Dice of Ages. I'm your not-so-humble game master, TJ, presenting CrestVahllen, the Argent Flame. So we got a couple of announcements. We got we're messing around with some lighting. We are back now to our basic Argent Flame as far as most of the adventures of the Argent Flame that we've been following up to this point is where we are at the moment.
I mean, we just have one quick aside.
Yeah.
We're back
I'm gonna check in with some other Argent Flame folks, you know.
out there in the world.
See what's going on.
Right.
In case, for those of you who haven't watched last session or last couple episodes, which were episode 74 to 75, we did a bit of an aside.
76.
I'm sorry, yes, 74 to 76. We did a bit of an aside where Queenie and Darius came back, and far and away, other things were happening with other members of
Did a
the
super
Argent
important
Flame.
thing.
Lots of stuff happened. Go ahead and check those episodes out if you can. Those will be up soon
Things that
if they are
benefit
not
us.
already. Having said that, I
Unknowingly
don't
did us a
think.
solid.
Having said that, I don't think that the recap we're going to do is actually going to cover the material that happened for that part. It's actually going to cover the previous time we were here with this group: Trisheni, Cole, Log, Argus, Zemdak, and Eleazar. Eleazar isn't here today, but that's okay. Probably off taking a respite with Idol getting some stuff done.
Learning how to ride.
Learning how to ride, probably spending a lot of their time doing that. So that's okay. But we will push forward. Other than that, thank you to our artists and composers. You can find, especially to Adam Canham from Red Sky Phenomenon, you can go find their stuff on Bandcamp, Spotify, all that jazz. There's more information. They allowed us use of all their music, and especially Tunnel Vision off the album Sketches as our theme song. So go check them out and give them a bunch of money. You can find all of the rest of our composers and artists within the video description. There's also a link there. You can go to diceofages.com/composers and check out more information as where you can find all of their stuff and bios and full credits and how they allowed us to use their music, if you would like to check that out. Other than that, our artists, got to give credit to our artists, Solomonical and from Magpie Studios and Bumblefox, who created some of our character art as well. That artist page isn't up yet, but we will check it out. As of today, we are officially Dice of Ages LLC. We're our own company, so yay! Officially, in the eyes of the law. We've got doing a bunch of stuff with that. We've got a bunch of people helping out. We're delegating some responsibilities, doing some cool jazz and everything. In the coming months, we may be doing some experimenting with working with some other companies, working with some other streamers, working with some other channels, working with some other systems, that type of thing. So stay tuned. We'll try to do our best to keep you posted on those announcements. If you haven't already, please become a Patreon and subscribe to our Patreon. You'll get access to our Discord server where you can get all that stuff real fast. We will try to post some stuff up on the website. It is difficult to maintain with how many hands we have moving around and how many cooks we have in the kitchen. But the best way to stay tuned is to get access to our Discord server by becoming a Patreon. And then you also get access to our post-session talks like the Burn Ends Gluten Talk. And our new, since C3 went live the other day, our Fae Files, which is the post-session talks for Campaign 3. They are now live on the docket, meaning that we will be streaming them live and then putting up the VODs like we have for a regular schedule 2 weeks later around that area, giving our editors some time to
So
and
in
moderators.
the same order that they live stream, they will be posted.
Right, we're trying to keep it in chronological order, as like when we play the game and when we live stream it, we try to keep it in the same order as to when we post them. We are toying with the idea of possibly then moving Baker's Dozen to only VOD and just doing pre-recorded instead of doing live sessions with that, just for the interest of our time and sanity, especially since this is a virtual campaign and there's a lot more editing that goes on with that. So don't be surprised if you no longer see any Baker's Dozen live streams, but we're still working out the kinks with that. Other than that, then go check out Prince of Ages on Etsy. We have a bunch of cool new stuff. I'm working on adding new listings. I have a lot of new licenses for some new stuff, but it takes time to add listings. So just stay tuned. Maybe follow the shop, give it a follow, and you'll see some cool new stuff popping up there in the next month or two. A lot of the stuff that we use in our combats here comes from our own shop. I print out myself. I either paint myself or we have one of our art departments paint it, especially the terrain. I work on that mostly myself. So if you see anything you like, head over to our shop and you can most likely grab it. I believe that's it, unless anybody else has any other announcements. No?
No, except for going around the table.
Oh yeah, let's go around the table yet again. Like I realized that like going around the table and introducing yourself is more of like a podcast thing than it is a VOD thing, but fuck it.
It's still important,
Yeah,
you know.
we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right, I'm Noelle, and today I'm playing Tresheni Ankmut, the Ma'itan, jackal kind of person who really knows her way around the sword and magic. I want to take a look in the books. In Tulmorbed soon.
All right. I'm Kevin. I play Cole, the human bard, distorted mind sorcerer. And I have to say, tall women are crazy. Look at the company that Tresheni keeps. It is just despicable.
I mean, we can't help it that we're tall. It's, yeah.
Okay.
I just more like that it just went over everybody else's head that I insulted the group.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it.
Thank you.
We're not tall. You're not talking about us.
All I said was the company they keep.
Yeah?
What are you talking
Oh, you were talking about the door candy. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd still love to learn.
I kind of remember the last session. 2 sessions ago. It's been a while, but I kind of remember it.
I am Cody, and I play our bugbear warlock, Log jamming. This whole spell crafting thing, it's been a long, hard journey with a lot of ups and downs. There were times I could feel I was edging closer, but just couldn't quite finish. But thanks to some quality alone time inside myself, I have finally mastered my balls.
Hey.
I feel like I need a bucket of ice water to dump on Log right now.
I always feel like I need to take a shower after Cody introduces himself. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm Kenton. I play Argus, our dwarf priest of primeval fire. And this dwarf's in a frenzied fire frenzy. He's tearing out your soul and walking through fire. Okay, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
Stay tuned. The EP's coming out next month.
Note to self, not immune to fire.
I'm Adam. I play
haven't
Zemdak,
converted you yet.
or Boots, our gnome artificer, and my family didn't get mercilessly murdered. Yay!
Yay.
That's right. You still have Lopno with you, right? She's the youngest, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pawning her off on Pinjack. He can take care of
Oh.
her. The road is no place for a child.
No.
Okay. Cool. So I guess that's it. I think we're done with announcements.
see a
here.
future
So
hostage
let's get into it.
question on future.
So the recap we're going to do today is actually of the last time we were with this particular group, not the previous one. I don't think we're going to end up doing a recap at the beginning of the session for the last one. If you want to see what happened there, you're going to have to watch it. So go ahead and rewatch that one if you like. That one ran very late, just so you guys know. It was also the first time in a while that we got to see some of our close friends that live very far away. Reasonably far away. So it ran very late, and you'll see some of our players kind of trickle out as they needed to go to sleep and do things. It's totally fine. We will assume we're actually going to talk about what had kind of happened and rewrapped with them in the burnt ends of this session for episode 77 to 79. So if you want to know more about what happened in the aftermath of the last session, 74 to 76, you have to watch the burn ends for this one. So subscribe to our Patreon, please. Every little bit helps, and it helps us have better equipment, video, everything. lights, better minis. We can pay the people that help us create this really cool thing that we've built.
Lights, cameras, action.
Light, cameras,
Yes.
and action. And on that, it's time for action. Let's recap what happened last time. Yeah.
Yes.
If I can see, ooh, this is a big and long one. Okay, so let's see how much time I'm gonna need here. Let's pause this. Okay, we'll pause, and then here we go.
That was the spare.
I know. All of a sudden, I was just like, did we break equipment and nobody realized it?
No, we're okay.
No, we're all good.
Oh no, my brain figured it out.
So,
You'll be able to see it on the video. There'll be a
rewinding a bit to the months that Cole and Zemdak spent within Log's dreamscape, there is a point at which Cole explores the bounds of the meta realm. Answered by an intimidating knock and a frameless door, Cole briefly explores the vision of a sleepy valley town overtaken by muscly creep, an undulating mass rising in the sky instead of a sun. Cole is dubbed as a witness, quote unquote, before returning to his slumbering companions. Zemdak finally crafts the Aegis of the Dragon Knight, as it has been dubbed, while Log masters a new spell of his own creation. The bugbear has a charade-like conversation with Pinky, the cephalomorph creature with only half a brain that's within your dreamscape, learning that the other cephalomorphs have a Dreamweaver in their employ that is kept asleep. Its dreams incepted by whatever said cephalomorphs desire. When the dreamers finally awake, a search is conducted for funds and valuables within the beds, as some are found, including a limestone toa golem. After some less than successful shield lifting, most of the band notice that Argus's room is on fire, wreathed in flames. Eleazar, Moonchild, and Cole extinguish the flames before the party learn that Pleased to Meet You was the one to give the chipped crystal ball to Pinjack. Cole touches the sphere, and his vision allows for a 360-degree view of the ruined Flint Sweeper homestead, littered with fires. Argus describes the scene from his dream before Grey Gloves suggests to use the cabinets of not the furniture, but the council, the cabinet of Styrcragg's transportation glyph. So Argus sends a message off to his father, confirming his family's safety and an intent to head to the capital of Protector. At least that's what you assume. They say behind the walls, but the transmission is patchy. It kind of breaks in and out. As Tweg and Shakar swarm and cling to the confused dwarf. Eventually, the Firebeard's son sends to Emrys, receiving back one side of a worrying conversation. Pinjack hands over a Styrcragg council brooch before Trisheni attempts to copy the glyph into her notes, while others retrieve the reluctant Armand Mortanic from the temple. The head of the Mortanic clan spits the address of the council's glyph onto the Ma'itan's book before sending them to Thulmore Bed. Arriving within the Ferris archives, the party convince the staff to let them pass without record as they quickly make their way to Gizmo's home. In the backwaters of the capital of the Razorfang, a dangerous welcome awaits the wayward gnome. A Dorkennen Rye in pink armor, supposedly Tiffany, stands over the iteration of the host as a powerful spell nears its completion. The gang's blade dancer attempts to interrupt the spell, but it proves to be overwhelming, ushering the rise of the previously felled Sasha. Tiffany is determined to extract the location of Shade from the Argent Flame as they engage in pitched battle. The Dorkennen duo prove extremely deadly as laws of nature, magic, and physics are broken without a thought. The present host sacrifices himself in an attempt to aid the party, and several attempts are made by Tiffany to teleport away. Argus enters a frenzy of flames before the assassins finally fall. With multiple Dorkennen Rye bodies present, the gang know that it is only a matter of time, very little to that, before more descend to investigate. The troop do their best to make the bodies unrecoverable as Argus wrenches Tiffany's soul from hers with her body with great difficulty, sending it off to the Great Flame. Fleeing back to the archives through the city, the band cover their tracks with perfume and more, paying a hefty sum to the mage in charge of transportation glyph. I messed up. Damn it.
So close.
Oh, dang.
Hear the speed picking up.
But it doesn't matter. Fleeing back to the archives through the city, the band cover their tracks with perfume and more, paying a hefty sum to the mage in charge of the transportation glyph. The party return to Styrcragg, hoping that the skirmish won't lead back to them. But moments later, in the aftermath of the battle at the homestead, several imposing figures apparate into existence as a troubling scene unfolds. Welcome back to CrestVahllen.
It's been a while since it's happened.
Yeah.
You're usually good about catching it.
Well, I can't do that anymore
Yeah,
with
I
the
know.
thing, so, but yeah. With the way it's set up. But, anyway, that's where we are. You, I believe, we left off. Sometimes we end sessions and we'll have to like quickly tie a knot in it, and so sometimes we go back, unravel that knot, and make it finer. So that's okay. But I believe we left off with you just arriving at
Yeah.
Styrcragg in the room where the transportation glyph is.
Yeah. At least what our characters are aware of.
Correct. The scene that I described before, with the Dorken and Rye arriving in there, none of your characters are aware of. That is kind of a teaser for the audience and for you just to get the things knowing. I want
It's
you to
very
be
chilling. I'll give you credit. It was very chilling.
I also want you to be aware of that keenly when it comes to deciding your next moves. You in no way know that these things have happened, and your inference and instincts as far as that knew that you needed to get out of there.
Are you sure about that? There was a spying device planted in the house that someone else still had the.
And so
receiving
now we're
end
going to
to.
go back. As you all find yourself in the transportation glyph room of the Fang in Styrcragg. I assume many of you are still badly hurt from the battle. None of you had a chance
Singed.
to really...
It depends on.
A little
Depends on
singed.
who it was.
Yeah.
It really depends on when my level up. If I got any.
None of... I don't think... I think, yes, quite a few... most, if not all of your wounds kind of cauterized and healed up when you went into that Berserker Fire Rage thing.
Okay.
I will say that Frenzy.
Yeah.
I will say you guys don't look primed and ready and fresh. You look like something happened when you come back. Those that are with you are Lopnol and Crash, or Conk.
Still
Sorry,
in a barrel. That Conk is
still in a
carrying.
barrel. And I believe that's it.
Yeah. We just tried getting out as quickly as we could.
Nobody else is with you. Eleazar is there.
Was Moonchild
Eleazar
with
took
you?
some hits as well.
Yeah.
You notice one of the guards that was here, kind of like, whoa, whoa. Why?
Hey,
We're back.
Quick trip.
What?
You're staring at us.
Oh, all right. We've yet to really figure out how this works yet. but-
Show them the thing they gave you.
let's just go.
Well, I mean, I know who you are. It's fine.
Usually, when people you don't
He
know
was
come
here,
through,
like,
you question.
Yeah,
hour
but
or
I
so
know you
ago
guys.
when we went through.
I saw you
But he
guys.
didn't know what he's doing, so I just thought that would help.
That
mean, you
means
said you-
nothing. He knows who we are.
All right. Okay. Maybe have this argument somewhere else so I
you
can
know-
get back to Manap.
Do you know where Councilman Pinjack got off to?
Oh,
The one
I
that looks
assume
like me?
probably in the council chambers somewhere, or mucking about the thing, probably.
Let's go find.
As
Yeah.
we're walking, I would connect to you just for a second because I don't want to say this out loud with everybody else. But I would go, we know your two families are at least safe. Can we check? Do you have the ability to message mine?
Sure.
Just we know he was there too. I'm just
Do you
worried.
want me to message him or your family? Because your mom sure doesn't believe when I talk to her.
She's stubborn.
I mean, I understand that. It's not that she's stubborn. I don't want to cause her more mental anguish thinking that there's more voices in her head.
We might want to check with Emrys just to. Emrys will probably be the easier one, you know. Plus, you know, why freak out my mom if we don't have to?
Right.
She'll go city guard and like lock down that trading post. It will be bad.
I mean, I have no idea what that would be like.
I can't hear. So.
Right, I can't chime in on any of this.
Oh yeah, this is totally like between the two of us.
All right. Well, let's get somewhere more private.
Right. I just
Figure out what.
we have a few seconds now, since we're not after his
It all just
family anymore.
depends
I
on-
figured I'd ask.
Do we trust what Emers would say?
You can simply ask him if the human and bugbear families are safe.
I mean,
He'll know what
he
you're
knows what
asking.
we'll do if he lies to us.
Oh, I can't hear that. Sorry.
It was a 3-way call, right?
No, it was a one-way call. I think
I think Zemdak was just thinking out loud as we
Didn't
were
carry
walking.
away.
That's
Yeah.
the problem is he knows, so he has full reason to lie to us.
Mm-hmm.
no, I know.
Well, let's think on it. Let's go figure out what's going on with Pinjack.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe my sister might be the better one to reach out to. She might have a better chance of seeing of like not freaking out like my mom will.
Did I reach out to her yet?
No, you haven't.
Okay.
I can show you a picture. I have the spells for that. I have multiple illusion spells. Don't worry about it.
Right. No.
All right. I mean, are we going?
Yeah.
Are we
we-
walking?
Where are you guys headed?
To go see Grey
try-
Gloves.
We're gonna go to the council chamber and try to find.
Yeah, the council chambers are one of the higher levels of the Fang, above the quarters. It's where,
If we see anyone, we can ask if he's there.
yeah, it's also the same level. The actual one of the balconies that is used to address the populace leads directly into the council chambers. The door opens and closes so that once they
That would make
convene
sense.
and talk, then they can address the public on what's been happening.
I think Kyron said he was taking the day off.
That's actually where you saw him come out and actually address it for his first public address as Lord of Styrcragg. So you know where to go.
Super successfully.
It's kind of like I wouldn't say round table. It's more of like a square table, kind of conference room like that. But there are also some other aside rooms that need to deal with certain things. There's like a war room. There's a couple other things, especially since this is a very militant city, given what its role has in protection. So you can head upstairs to the council chambers. You see that there is a little bit more business going on. There's a lot more people moving around. What was before with Logren, and there was this kind of din of apathy about when it came to a lot of the staff around here, and that kind of feeling of grief that was that aura that was kind of affecting everybody has all but subsided, as a new feeling and new people delegating resources and attention and tasks are being moved about. Sheets are being taken off furniture, things are being dusted, pieces of paper and legal documents are being moved around. People are being ushered into, even from the populace, people are being ushered into certain rooms as some people want to address issues. That now the machine is churning and moving and the gears are turning. So you find your way to the council chambers. Among there, it looks like the door is ajar for the moment. Kyron doesn't seem to be in there. Grey Gloves does look like he's sitting down. It doesn't look like he's in the middle of conversation with a few other individuals. Looks like perhaps some sort of guard lieutenant or guard captain, you're not quite sure, as well as there is Mortanic, Armand Mortanic is there, as well as Megara. What's her last name again?
Herrick.
Herrick. So we have Herrick, Mortanic, and we also have what looks like a pair of individuals that you are not quite as familiar with, but you can guess by their attire that they appear to be more common folk, perhaps Kerag representatives of some sort. The meeting, I won't say it's going well, but I will say that
Poor buddy.
he at the moment he appears to be kind of getting it from both ends. Megara is just kind of watching and just as Mortanic is kind of being like, oh, you should be like this for rich people, and yada 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 yada, and like whatever. It's kind of getting it from both ends, from the Carrig and Mortanic people. And he's doing his best to try to keep it civil, but he was hired for a specific council position, if you guys remember, which was, if you guys remember, who remembers? Anybody? Note taker?
I'm looking. Mortanic was.
No. Pinjack.
Pinjack.
What was Pinjack? His specific job.
I thought he was the connection between the council and Smooth Hands, but I could be wrong.
Well, that's his double agent role.
I mean, we've got double and triple agents like stretched throughout the continent. I can't remember all of their jobs.
Right. His undercover role is his connection to the factions, the Moon factions and the government.
Darker races.
Yeah. Well, just I would. Yeah, we could kind of just call them the Moon and Cog factions if you want. It sounds pretty good. They kind of keep their name pretty ambiguous for compartmentalization and clandestine purposes. But yeah, he was hired as the role, I believe, as like some sort of liaison, if I remember. I actually don't remember. Does anybody have it written down?
I was digging. I
I don't
couldn't
know.
see
What
it.
I don't know if he was just an
I
advisor.
believe he was just hired for the council.
Yeah.
We
He was on
we
the
had we had advised that he should be advised for that
correct.
position,
It
but we
took
just found
hiring.
out he was on the council.
Correct.
Right.
So he's just been an advisor at the moment because he seems to have quite the moral compass and other types of things. And he was urged by his faction contacts to take the position or try to do so that, yes, I would consider him, if you wanted to, kind of like a master of whispers, if that makes sense.
Oh Jesus.
They're doomed.
Oh boy.
Obviously not that necessary, not that title, but to be like, it's like, what are the people in the streets saying? So you have like kind of the Carrag
He was
representatives
given a
and
secret
him
ball,
that
and the
kind of
first
do
thing he did
that.
was show it to us.
Yeah. It's gonna get
Zemdak,
real
you may
low.
need to give your brother a little talking to about spycraft.
Even Zemdak is not.
He's
You
been,
know how to sneak around at least.
he's been given
Have
the
you seen
task
Conk?
to be like the statecraft representative is pretty much what he is.
Diplomat.
The diplomat and then some. If only for his moral compass, which a lot of others, especially you see, have a lot of ulterior motives. And although he does too, perhaps not as intrinsically invested or nefarious, if that makes sense. So you see that this is his. He kind of got thrown into a sink or swim situation with these people, and he's getting it from both ends. Megara appears to be enjoying herself just watching him flounder at the moment, but you do see the doors ajar. I would say the state of the
What are they
door.
all saying?
Yeah.
What are they all saying?
Yeah.
If you want to listen in and you want to like read their lips and say two things. I would say the state of the door, because it's kind of one of those doors that there's several doors that kind of move, and when they're flat, it's all closed, but when they're open, it creates that kind of like shutter Venetian blind kind of feel, but vertical instead of horizontal. And then they're all these like stone slabs that then rotate on the center. And they appear to be like just slightly ajar to enough where you could squeeze in if like sideways if you wanted to, providing ventilation. I would say your passive insight lets you know that these doors are like, aren't saying, hey, come on in, it's okay. It's more of, it was a little stuffy in here, so we opened up the doors, but we're still having a meeting. Make sense?
Yeah.
I would say from what you hear from them saying, I'm going to do just, rather than RPing the moment, because that would take a lot, and there's a lot of very, I'll say, like specialized information going on here as part as
Very nuanced.
it's very nuanced information. Basically, the Carags are like, when are we going to get official representation? And they're like, you're the Lord now. You have one of our last names. You have the clan of last name, or like not you, but like, the Lord has the last name now. When do we get a physical representation? Also, where is he? Why isn't he in this meeting? And they're still in that mode of strike while the iron is hot. type thing, because this is the closest they've ever had to actual, like legal, lawful clan representation, because they've been viewed as the clanless for so long, which has a stigma attached to it. And so they're grasping at straws to make sure that that stigma could possibly be wiped clean. If they can do it in one sweep, they're trying to do. So they're pushing pretty hard. And Pinjek is trying to ameliorate their concerns, but as soon as he like starts to try to do that, Armand has something to say about the Carrags trying to do so, and about how, oh, well, my clan had all these bloodlines, and it took, hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of years for us to establish our name. So if you're trying to, he's like, Styrcragg wasn't built in a day. You have to be patient, and all these other types of things. And they're like, oh, you bureaucratic bull crap and everything. You're just doing that because then you get to stay in power. And it's devolving into an argument that kind of Pinjek is getting roped into. And Megara just has her feet up on the table, just kind of watching it. What appears to be just kind of like gnawing on a piece of jerky, because she knows what her job is. Her job is to make sure that the military part of this is taken care of, and that there's no riots in the streets. And she's like, takes care of the guard. She appears to have like a lieutenant of some guard, not necessarily a guard captain, but a lieutenant of the guard behind her that just is stoic, standing there. And her job is to make sure that the youth's well defended, and other than that, pretty much make sure that the forces, especially the military and guard forces and civil servants forces here, don't have unrest, because she's good at that. That's like kind of her job. She's also a warrior, but she's kind of a bit forced into politics. So she doesn't really have. She probably does have something. Again, this is a lot of your passive insight. This is pretty easy to tell what's going on here. She probably does have some insight for the situation, but is enjoying this a little bit too much to just kind of
Not my mess.
Yeah,
I'm
not
not
my
involved
girl,
in
not my
this.
monkeys is pretty much what's happening
I
right
could
now.
help out, but
It's
more
that thing where you see the train wreck happening and you really can't do much to stop it. So it's like, might as well
Yeah.
crack a beer and watch.
Yeah, kind of that, and then also there's a sense of it hasn't gotten to the level where she needs to intervene just quite yet, because she's brought in to deal with catastrophes and problems, and this to her looks like it seems pretty petty.
They're arguing. There's no violence among council members yet.
If-
Do you want to
if-
message him and be like, hey, we have news?
Yeah.
Get him out of this meeting?
I mean,
Yeah.
I had an idea to like what to say to him too, was to tell him to sit up straight and tell them very firmly that he has heard both of their sides. It will be, and that the Lord will take it under.
Just
I
do
know.
it.
That's what I was about to say. The Lord will take your ideas take your sides under advisement, and will think on it.
Yeah.
I'm just watching him get pounded, so someone needs to just.
I will.
Right now.
I will message him, and I will very firmly tell him to sit up straight, speak very firmly, and tell them that you have heard both sides, and you will relay you will relay both sides
Concerns.
to his Lord to contemplate on what to do.
You're telling this to who?
To
Pinjek.
Pinjak.
Pinjek?
I'm trying to give him advice on how
You're
to
trying to
deal
Cyrano
with
de
it.
Bergerac this situation.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to give him an idea and help him establish
Go
his
ahead.
power.
You know what
over-
I'll say? Go ahead and roll a persuasion check to kind of like, because this is very charisma based, as you're trying to, via statecraft, use some legalese and language to, like, as your character, because your character has a charisma of like 20 or something like that. Yeah. So most definitely can do it better than pretty much anybody at this table.
Puppet him through the situation.
Yeah, kind of a simulation of how well they're like, say this to ameliorate their feelings and at least mollify what's going on.
We'll just
Go ahead.
Let's move this along.
we'll just wave at Pinjek to be like, hey, come over here, come on,
14.
buddy.
14. Yeah, you give him. He sorts through what looks like some very old Ferris archives things that are written on slabs of iron and stone, and then there's just a big old scroll. It's about yay wide, that's rolled up with paper about yay thin. That looks to be one big side is on one side of the table, and one big side is on the other side of the table, and it's just been like there's attendance on both sides, and as they keep moving through line items, it's moved through like a roller for. Like long sheet of paper as it's like going through, and Pinjak's going through, and he's like, okay, well the next line item is, and he keeps talking as you're speaking, he's hearing your voice, is about the delegation and, well, divvying up of land, given, people, certain clans have been here and everything. And then the squabble starts to get up, and Megara, lean back a little bit. She starts to continue to chew on her beef jerky, and he hears your voice, but he continues talking. Now, I don't want to make sure that I take away... We're not going to handicap anybody's right to certain lands, but I believe this actually would be better suited for not necessarily your purview, but perhaps if you appointed a representative. Speaking of which, in order for me or even the Lord themselves or anybody else to make a decision upon this point, we would need more research and more information on this. If you can provide genealogical trees, and you kind of have been walking them through, be like, okay, they need to go do their own due diligence before they come back and just say, this is what I want, what are you going to do about it? They need to have more evidence for their case.
Yeah.
And you realize that it's just become kind of like, no, it's he said, she said, squabble, 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 and they need to get their argument together before they come back. And go like, we will need more research, and although all these lists of demands and requests and concerns are lengthy, we need actual legal representation and wording for these. So if you can do, the onus upon research is on you to do that. I am more than willing to hear out any case that you have. But at the moment, we have a scattering and smattering of a mile list long of ideas, and of course you understand that this isn't indicative of a meeting where we get anything done. This is bureaucracy and red tape. Can we both agree on that? And they both kind of realize that they've just kind of come with, I want this, and not really give themselves any back, and all three of them kind of lean back in their chairs. So, I'm going to leave this with you for a moment. I need to go take care of something that is currently pressing and a matter of urgency. Not that this isn't. However, I suggest that you take as long as you need here to gather your thoughts and gather more pointed and concise requests and concerns. Because, come on, my guys, really? This could wrap around the fang several times. And I understand that you all have your concerns, but if you want things done, we need to speak a little more plainly than I need more washing detergent for my dishes in the tavern sector. Come on. These are things that we're taking care of, but they need to be taken to the proper person. We are still in interim of moving from one dynasty or leader to another. So we're trying to make a smooth transition, but there's going to be hiccups. If you have any suggestions for those that would like to have those responsibilities delegated to you, we'd more than happy take those suggestions under advisement and put those people in those positions. We would like to have a diverse, a veritable assortment of representatives from all clans actually working for the lordship. Does that make sense? And they all kind of nod, like they've just been told off by mommy and daddy. Great. Take care of it. I feel like I'm the oldest person in the room right now. And Megara, just... She's, silently laughing really, really hard. You see the lieutenant behind her, kind of chuckle. Great. And I'm I know you, both of you, all of you are at least 100 years older than me. So, come on. Stop acting like children. I shouldn't have said that. As they kind of, you see him say that as he sits up and tries to keep himself good, and then turns around and stands up, and you see him sweating profusely as he exits the room. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. What the fuck am I doing?
Stop wiping your head. Walk back out straight.
Yeah,
Let them know you're
straightens
freaking
up,
out.
walks back and everything, and just hides behind one of the panels.
Good job. You did great.
Great, cool. Let's go over here. Yeah.
Just don't
leads you
let
to
them
a
see
side
you freak
meeting.
out anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, this is harder than it looks.
Let's give you a little focus.
Okay. They kind of walks into a side room that has its own little...
That's
This
one word for
town
it.
is a bulwark. It is the front line. It is the shield against the dark, creepy things that come out of the deep under.
Yeah.
That is your focus.
Well, that's Megara's focus, but yeah, I understand.
It's your
Anything that
focus,
they
too.
propose that takes away from that is bad.
I see what you
Yeah.
mean.
Make
Anything
them-
that compromises our defense.
Make them frame their requests in how it's going to make the city safe.
Okay, I hear you. But I also don't want to make sure that our entire coffees are going towards defense. Because if we do that, then we might not have enough left to actually deal with civil issues.
That's fair.
So we need a balance.
That is fair.
Also, keep in mind that when you're doing this, you know, I caught a little bit of that about where the clanless were arguing with that. Keep in mind that people from the clans have been just as horrible and useless as people who were clanless.
Right.
And sometimes calling people on their bullshit will wake them up on stuff. Sometimes it'll piss them
I
off.
think it's
but
been a while since they've had a paddling in this situation, and I'm like, I'm just kind of done with dealing with people's shit. So, but I agree.
But
for
keep
one
in
thing,
mind that
like,
they have all the money too.
I know.
It's a fine line you have to walk.
Logren did squirrel away quite a bit, but that's the other thing. For example, there's a particular line item of defense. Like, we don't need karaoke parties for the line
No.
for the border staff.
Morale plays a factor.
Every Gondar. I understand Voral can do it, but we don't need to pull out of fun. That can be crowds. I'm fine with morale, but I mean, for that to be a line
Well,
item
I
in the
think they're
gov-
following the logic of there's no fighting on Gondar, and the Deep Under doesn't respect that.
I know.
But like a karaoke
Take-
mission, have you ever tried renting
take,
one?
like,
It takes
a
a
quarter
lot.
of that budget.
Costs a lot.
Probably already bought
Give
one.
all the troops like a free
would think.
ale.
Zemdak can
Every
probably
Gondar.
make one. All right.
Maybe not ale because I don't want to. Maybe a token for an ale.
Yes.
Because I don't want them drinking on the job.
No.
Although some of them are better at their job when they're drunk.
Or
This is complicated.
But like,
This is
free ale on Gondar is way more productive than.
one of the things I'm realizing is that if it was easy to come up with a solution and we could do it in an afternoon, it would have been done a long time ago. So this is going to take some
One
work.
free
if
ale,
that was
they're
the
probably
case, we
gonna
wouldn't have
buy
had to do the
another,
trials
so
to
you're
get 'em in
going to
power.
add More revenue. that
Yeah,
way.
you're gonna add more people drinking in the inns and taverns.
and
Honestly,
people
I'm
spending money
okay
in
with
town.
karaoke on Gondar. We just don't need to be paying 500 gold to the mage
many
that's constantly
people-
casting thaumaturgy.
That's
How
what I
many
mean.
people
It's so
actually show up
freaking
to
expensive.
karaoke as well?
however, free ale on Gondar will also get more recruits into those services, which will allow for more rotation and more relaxation.
It's like, isn't that like honeypotting the service a little bit though? That seems
That's
kind of messed
government.
up.
Nah.
I don't want to do that. I want to. If people actually want to be part of the service and part of the military, although it used to be.
What? Well, here's
Honeypots
the
work for a reason.
here's a big question for you. How much do the militia? How much does the militia make here? The soldiers make?
A decent living wage. It's one of the reasons why. I mean, there's a lot of mercenaries that get a better wage, but they go and down and do jobs that
So they get
They're
they get
more
hazard pay
skilled
and
to do.
everything like that for guarding from the Deep Under.
The mercenaries get better hazard pay than the guards do, but the guards get a living wage. I mean, middle class. Like
Vouchers for the brothel.
Do you mind?
Ask-
Oh, that
everyone-
has some moral implications that
Yeah.
I really don't want to get. I don't think government should be involved with.
Ask
that at
any
all.
big business owner. Ale parties smooth over everything.
Should add pizza and ice cream too.
Right, but I also don't want to promote alcoholism. Right? So you see how like there's a hole in everything. I'm starting to figure that out. That like everything has a
There's a
rebuttal.
lot of good drinks that aren't all alcohol.
Speaking of children,
Wait.
Yes.
We should probably go somewhere.
Sisters, say hi.
Wait. No. Ah! We're out in the middle of the.
no, he took us into a side
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're in
Yeah, he's in the side room. Doors closed.
Okay.
You're in the side room. No windows.
I like peek my head out just for a second. Okay.
Shit, a little paranoid today.
Yeah.
I have some work to do, and that on top of my other job. So I'm gonna be here for a while. Kyron is taking a rest day today. I totally understand it. It's gonna be the last time he's gonna be able to rest for
A while.
probably the rest of his term, if we have terms. By the way, we're trying to figure that out, if we should have terms or if it's just hereditary now. It's kind of messed up that way too. But yeah, as far as hazard pay is concerned, you're right. The guards, or at least the border patrol, should absolutely be paid certain amounts, and we should be sealing up certain areas, building more towers, that type of thing. But again, 500 gold does not need to go to a thaumaturgist every Gondar. It
But-
just doesn't need to happen.
But as of right now, can the coffers really handle a wage increase, or can they handle, giving them a couple of free
We can
ales every week?
handle a temporary stipend, but that's about it. I mean, we need one of the reasons why it's the economy's been what it is because the materials we get from hunting dangerous and keeping the population down of dangerous creatures from the deep under is brought in by the mercenaries, and we get a cut of those materials, and those materials sell really well from other parts of the Razorfang and outside. We have one of the most direct access to the deep under, so we have, I don't want to say monopoly, but a pretty cornered market on those types of creature materials, meaning that's a good part of even the nation's income. Granted, it's dwarfed in comparison to the technology that they choose to patent out and allow for use in other nations, which is still a small percentage because you know how selective and I'll say exclusive we are with our technology, if not proprietary. But yes, so it's important that we keep the mercenaries coming in. We want more off-government work that's just paid by the government, but freelance work. Freelancers really help us out. We can't send our border patrols down. I mean, we can.
Well, here's the thing. If you can get more people into the regular border patrol and not have to rely on the mercenaries for the border patrol, that'll cut down on costs.
Megara should be in this meeting. She knows a lot more about
wait
this.
a second.
Hold on.
Before that, we got bigger fish to fry.
Yes.
Okay.
Or smaller fish.
Right. I'm
Well,
sorry.
We've gone down a wormhole. This wasn't the purpose of our conversation.
No.
It
not at
wasn't?
all. No.
The family
Let's stick to the meeting
is
notes.
fine.
Oh, right. Oh my God. I can't believe I almost forgot. Everybody's okay.
They had managed to get out, except for
Where are they?
Lopnell. Say hello from the barrel.
Lobby. As he goes over and like, Conk, pick her up. As he can't reach over into the barrel and like hands it like Penny, and goes over to Penny and is like, and they give him a big hug. Like, oh jeez. Where's everybody else?
We
You okay?
are not sure.
She just nods. You don't know?
They were evacuated.
Wait, so how do you know they're all right?
They were evacuated. They weren't there when it happened.
What do you mean when they weren't there? You mean
They-
like?
They got out.
We got out before the tall women came.
So you're saying like because their bodies weren't there?
I watched my family get evacuated through a portal by the same person that was watching your family.
Through a portal?
So, yeah, using magic, teleporting somewhere.
You know, he's got a connection to
When
his
I-
god,
when
whatever.
I messaged my family,
No, you didn't.
when
You
I
didn't see them
messaged,
pass through a portal.
yeah, I did for my flame thing.
Vision.
Yeah.
Vision quest.
fr-
He
from
saw.
my-
No, they
vision
just
with-
ran away from the building. They didn't pass through a portal.
In mine,
In
with
your vision.
the fire, like
You saw them run out of a building.
we saw Emrys summon a portal. Ours-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what his
Oh.
vision was.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about his family. I'm talking about my family. I
Right.
saw my family get evacuated.
You're right. He did summon something, and then they walked through it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they went out the back, but you're right. Yep.
No, yeah. His dream was that way. Yes.
Right. I completely forgot about that.
And Lop also knows that they left before anything happened. She was in her little barrel hiding place and
And
got left behind.
they left her behind?
I don't think they had time to question what was
They
happening.
didn't have time to head count.
Yeah.
There was
She got home alone.
somebody spilled her ticket.
Are we worried about someone trying to finish the job? Are they after our family?
Yeah,
Who's after our
well,
family?
Nobody, but
It's better if you don't know.
I'm sorry?
It's true though.
Yeah.
Let's just say the main person.
You're saying this is a need to know, and a part of our family doesn't need to know?
It's safer if you don't.
As a member.
Are
of-
they alive? Do you know?
Yes.
Are they safe?
I don't know that.
I'll turn
Do you
this
know where
back.
they are?
I told my family.
we don't. But you remember what happened to some of your friends back in the old town that you were at?
Do you remember
You,
what
you
happened?
Do you
remember
remember
when we
that?
went to the hideout and found all your friends?
Yeah, I remember.
Same,
Yes.
same,
Same people.
same. So don't ask more
Oh,
questions.
we took care of it.
Why
We
are
took
they
care of
after
it.
our family?
Pawns.
Because of you?
Be-
Not just him.
We all screwed up in that respect.
I mean, I
It's-
remember what you told me before, but we don't have any. I mean, I guess I do now, but we don't have any power. We don't have any.
They're all pawns in a larger game. And I
Alright,
hate to call them pawns, but it's what those folks see them as.
Well, and now that you have power, if you know about them, it's more dangerous for you, too.
And I hate to add another problem to your to-do list, but she cannot come on the road with me.
Yeah, duh. I mean, I thought you were smart. Jesus.
That's why
I'm sorry. I
That's
thought you
why
were smart.
he's
Cog.
dropping it off.
That's why I'm dropping her off with you.
Yeah.
My cog. Okay. All right. So, yeah. No, I can talk to Kyron. I'll make it happen. I'll make sure she becomes a ward of Styrcragg or something.
Find a nanny.
Well, I'll
Take
just
her.
make her a ward.
She's your sister.
Yeah,
Right, but I mean, she has to have some sort of legal protection here.
that's fair.
I see what he means, yeah.
If I'm going to, I can't give her special
You
treatment without
shouldn't-
giving her some sort of.
You want to
You-
make her like
you-
a ward of the Lord or something like
Yes,
that.
exactly.
Actually, you should change
That
her
way,
name.
if she ever becomes in danger, the Lord can actually mobilize troops.
You might want to change her name entirely, because if the people see that she came here, then there's an obvious connection between you and her and what happened there.
I'm afraid you are now Grey Gloves Silvervein in name, my friend.
I don't like it.
Hey,
but it's-
Lopno. As long as you're here with me, don't tell anybody your name. Okay? Why?
It's an adventure.
It's a game.
It's a game. And if we lose the game, that means it's that much longer before we get to see the rest of our family. And she starts to cry and was like, oh shit, no, that wasn't the right thing to say. Damn. Okay.
What do you want your superhero name to be?
Right, yeah. Right. She looks at you.
Yeah.
Your brother Pinjack is Grey Gruff Silvervein.
It's pretty cool, right? I mean, you could do something with barrels. I mean, you're really good at hiding. You could do something kind of nifty.
Zemdak was Boots Garnet Flake.
Flake. Flake. Ooh, what about like
Cape, maybe? Like something
I
cool
like
that?
gems
Gems?
and
Okay.
jewelry.
What?
I also like fruit pies.
Ooh. What about like ruby
Ruby pie.
pie?
Ruby pie. Ruby pie. Ruby pie.
Ruby pie.
Ruby pie. Ruby pie. Ruby pie.
Close to
Ruby
rhubarb pie.
pie. Ruby pie flakes. Dandruff. No.
No.
Rue pie, opal shimmer.
Ooh.
That's a lot of words to remember. Ruby pie.
Shimmer.
Ruby shimmer. Ruby pie shimmer. I like
Ruby
it.
pie
I
shimmer?
like it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Okay.
cool. And what's
Okay,
your
so
secret?
you're gonna be. You're gonna pretend, as Pinjack leads out. You're gonna pretend to be, a lost little girl that was got lost during some things that happened here, recently, and we're as the state the king here. Yeah, the king here is gonna take care of you, okay? And you get to stay here with me, all right? Okay. When are Pepe and Mimi coming?
That's what we're gonna figure
As
out.
soon as they can, they will.
Okay. Okay. Can I have a snack? I'm hungry. Yeah,
Pull something out of the bag and
Yeah.
hand it to her.
like what?
Jerky.
Trail mix.
You want good berry?
This smells funny.
Give her a good berry.
Do you have any
Here,
cakes?
here. Try this. This is a berry that comes with
Ooh,
kicks.
you have any
yeah.
more?
You just want one today. It's really good.
That whole berry will
I
make you
think-
feel full.
I think so. Trust me.
It's a
You're-
magic berry.
It's
He
magic.
She like
ate-
grabs it with both of her hands. It's like this big.
He ate 2 of them, or 3 of them, and you should have seen the amount that he threw up.
It was really funny.
It was pretty funny.
It was.
So sniffs it and tears off the skin and kind of like flops down. And she pulls it up.
It's good, right? Yeah.
She's eating. Okay, I'll smooth things over with Kyron. I don't think he'll have much of a problem with it. It's just, all the paperwork is going to be a pain in the ass, but we'll figure it out. We'll keep her name. Do you need anything else?
I mean, if I can figure out a little bit from the mage where, some of these addresses are basically, I'd love to pick his brain about that so we can have that for the future.
And
So
if
we can move
You mean
faster.
for like the glyph?
She'd love him to spit all over her book.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand.
It's
Okay,
not gross.
you wanna
In
talk
this
to
case, it's
Armand.
not gross. Yes.
It's a little gross.
Yeah. I mean, here's
It's
the
so
deal. There's
cool.
only so far that I really want to bend my I don't really have any control over him. I'm just mediating this. But there's only
Yeah.
really so far I want to bend my government sway when it comes to this. He knows this stuff because it's proprietary. So I mean, I can have Kyron give him permission to sell it to you.
He's gonna
But
sell
I
it to
mean,
us for
th-
like 1,000 gold, guys. This is stupid.
I mean, not a whole lot of people couldn't. I mean, well, there's. I want to say magic is rare, but the
Power.
That kind of
mages
magic is
are
rare.
Yeah.
mages are specialists, and they have a service that they offer, and it's not something that they just give away for free.
Trishani, you could trade him the one you know.
Yeah.
Do we
Okay.
really want him to be
I mean,
able
it's
to
entirely
travel
up to him.
there?
I would just expect resistance when it comes to that. As far as these is stuff that the one was an emergency, and he did it because he saved his life. That whole thing.
Right.
But I would
copy it?
expect them to not just give you something that they spent years, if not decades, perfecting to just give it to you.
That makes sense. Would you just give out one of your really powerful spells to somebody?
If they had a good need. I don't know. Like, I also have a much shorter lifespan than this fucker. So, it's
Also
all
makes you,
relative.
there's a difference between why he's him and you're you, and
Yeah.
why people trust you more anyway. So
I mean, I want a copy of your notes on spells occasionally. It's a good book to add to the
Oh,
library.
yeah,
but-
of course. I don't know. I can figure that beef out with him. It's fine.
sure.
But
I mean,
I don't know. We haven't figured out what's next yet. We need.
I mean, he gets
time.
he does a lot of spellcraft stuff for the state, and he gets paid for it. So I
Could
don't
always
see why
ask a
he
price,
wouldn't.
but we gotta know where we would be going.
Exactly.
Before we left,
Sure.
you had mentioned that you were about to have a meeting discussing our compensation for, everything.
Oh, right. I doubt that could come out of the official coffers because it was all kind of under.
What if part of
Under
it
the
was
table, wasn't it?
where it should come? Like, oh, I need a rune for how to get here. Maybe that's part of it. It's free relatively for the coffers. Just saying.
I mean,
What
that's really
would I be
expensive.
putting on these papers? You were guards or bodyguards?
Mercenaries.
I do also wonder if maybe allowing more of our sporificant friend to spread around the city could make this more of a potion hub and increase the revenue for the city.
Ooh. Especially with all the rare materials
That's
too,
exactly
right?
it. You were just talking about the rare materials. That might be a
Wait,
way
are you
to...
talking about what you did to that one guy that is half a person now?
no, we're also talking about the shit
His
one.
name was
Why?
Guy, wasn't it?
His name was Guy.
He's around. You'll see him, and you'll
But-
know it's him.
we don't
'Cause-
have to do the... We don't
he
have to
growing
make more
mushrooms
crazy
now?
people.
No, just the way he walks.
He'll get used to it.
I mean, there's already a hub with Bilgrar and his deal.
Right.
We were Kyron's trial advisors.
I understand. Right, when people... Okay, so it's less of a monetary thing. Usually it's more of a promise of a position type of thing. Like on the campaign trail, people work with you, and then once you actually win the election or whatever, you end up in part of their cabinet, that type of thing. But you guys don't want that. You don't want political spots. And
We can't stay here anyway,
have to-
so...
we're asking for political power in regards to like getting information about glyphs and runes.
Yeah, like if we could come back here any time, that'd be sweet.
Technically,
You know.
Chiron could order, seeing as he is the Lord now, Armand to give you what it is that you want, and he would have to do it or risk, not being part of the cabinet and not being part of the collective society of Styrcragg anymore. Although that would cost him a good amount of goodwill, especially if Armand is resistant to the idea. It's possible. I don't
Don't really want us to have any more.
What you have
bad
right
blood,
now.
ill faith with Chiron.
No, of
What you
course
have
not.
right now is a lot of favor with the lord of somebody that now rules a military town, for lack of a better term.
I'm actually cool with holding on to just.
I don't think
the
that's going
favor.
anywhere. I don't
Yeah.
think that's something you can spend.
The favor's fine, just as long as
I also want him to cool down with everything that happened.
Yeah.
Chiron has a lot of sway here now. But the other thing is that we kind of learned from what happened in the Protector is to not just start swinging your dick around as soon as you become Lord,
No.
and do these sweeping changes, because when that happens, you get
There's always
quite a bit of
pushback.
resistance. There's
Right.
going to be quite a bit, and then people are resistant to change.
I mean,
So
could we at least get the ability to come back whenever we want? Is that fine? I mean, I feel
I'm
like
sure.
that's
I
not
don't
asking
think
too
Chiron would
much.
have any problems with that at all.
All right.
yeah.
Can't you just go copy that one down?
I mean, you also have complete access to the Fang.
But
whenever-
also,
whenever you
to
wish.
be not asked by the guards when we show up randomly,
And not have to pay for it.
I'm sure Chiron will go to great lengths to help you in any way that he can. What he can't do is entirely tell a bunch of people to give you things for free.
no. That's
Oh,
fine.
he shouldn't anyway, because that's not something. If you just pass an executive order to be like, oh, by the way, you need to give this person everything for free because I said so. That's not that's not going to instill a whole lot of trust with him with the populace. But I
We
mean,
also don't want it to show that somebody that helps him doesn't get anything from helping him.
it also means you have a friend in a high place, if that means
I-
anything.
Yeah.
Meaning that there are times where the Lord has to go abroad. I mean,
Completely.
look,
I'm fine-
Logren right
I'm
now.
fine with leaving it where it's at.
Yeah.
Logren was sent
speaking-
out yesterday. While you guys were gone,
Yeah.
while you guys were gone, Logren was sent out to be Styrcragg's ambassador and representative to Thulmor Bed.
Okay.
Well, and speaking from what I was, the political class they always give us before they let you go, holding favor is sometimes more valuable than any reward you can get.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that favor is expiring. He'll do whatever he can. If you want him to be involved in the conversations, he'll try to make time. As far as trying to convince Armand to give you what it is you want. Is that all you want? Just runic teleportation glyphs? No
I was
transportation
thinking
glyph
gold
information?
myself, but that's just me. I mean,
The archive
No, we'll go find you
required
some
a
more hands later.
donation
It'll be fine.
okay.
when we pass through.
Oh,
So
we can
that purse is a little light.
send correspondence to.
No. You gave me
Oh, right.
the coin.
My other job's coin.
Yeah.
You spent that?
We had
Not
to.
all of it.
Okay.
We had to.
We had to get back here.
That we can reimburse. I think we can actually expense that out for you because I should add it to the minutes for Logren as well. I'm going to send a correspondence to him to make sure that any because you guys didn't come through as official ambassadors, I'm going to make sure that any people that come through, usually they don't use that transportation glyphs. They just go straight to the Aetherveld. But I'll make sure that any that have
So you can get
that are on our
reimbursed.
lists that just have diplomatic immunity for those types of charges. It makes sense. I can expense it out for you on our side, and then we can have Thulmor Bed reimburse us when we do taxation next season. That shouldn't be a problem. I can have that filled out. Is that something you want to keep with me then?
Well, I mean, it's your coin.
That's correct.
It's the church's coin, technically, so. The purpose of it was to help people.
Yeah.
And so far, that is what it has done.
When you go to sleep tonight, leave it on your bedside table. It'll be gone in the morning.
There will be a second purse. That's for her expenses. It was found in the ruins of her home.
Ruins?
It wasn't pretty.
Jeez.
You saw through the ball, didn't you?
Our great grandmother built that house.
And the cave is still there. The cave will always be there.
Yeah.
What's more important is your family is still together, and
You're
that's
right.
the home.
Home's not a place, it's people.
People.
Okay. Yeah, so leave whatever's left on the table. It'll be gone in the morning, and I'll make sure it's expensed out as far as what was spent. Here's the deal, guys. Your name's out there now. I mean, people know who you are. There's not a whole lot of use left in trying to keep you kind of under wraps.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm going to actually officially expense out some sort of compensation for the help that you did as a mercenary band for bodyguard work and
Do we really want to do that? They could easily trace back.
They already know.
from what I've heard, from what you tell me, they already know who you
Yeah.
are and where you are, and they have no problem finding you.
They already know, but like maybe they could do it. Like maybe in the books you put it as just basic mercenary work. It's not like super specialized. I don't know.
If you
Do you
did
think-
what you just did,
Yeah.
you said you felled several of them? Or
Couple. Burn some
okay,
bodies.
several.
if they are who the legends say they are and what you've told me they are, they would be here right now if they wanted to be.
Don't mention
Or if they
that.
knew or something.
Don't mention that in the records. Just literally say that we were helping
No,
Karen.
of course. I can
Please.
mention some sort of methane leak and some sort of explosion.
Make it harder for them to follow the trail, but you're
Oh,
not.
I can absolutely bury it in
You're not-
stacks of paper.
You're not wrong. We were here. They know we were here. They know we were there.
Yeah.
Which raises another question. Why aren't they here?
We burn things,
Bigger fish.
you know.
That makes, I think, the
We're
most
not
sense.
that important.
Either that or you're not. They're not. Yeah, they're not. You're either there. Something is. Yeah, either bigger fish, or you're not even a fish to them right now.
Also,
Right.
sometimes it's much more ominous to make somebody disappear than to murder them in the middle of the city.
We are a nuisance that
Watch your back.
pulled a single thread from their sweater. We're not worth it.
So
at the
stop
moment.
tugging.
Never.
Keep getting caught on things, and then shit happens. And
They keep walking by and they keeps getting caught
Especially
on
if
stuff.
Lopnel's the one that pays. Rupai is the one that pays for it.
She had a pretty fun adventure.
I'm not sure fun is the right word.
She thought it was
I had fun. Okay.
You're gonna be really good at hiding later in life. You
Okay.
know? Just Jenny.
We got a friend who can teach you how to be really quiet if we ever meet them again.
Next session we're having
I have a better idea.
Tonkin and room pie.
Yes, in the suit. God, baby.
Right.
Young Greg.
In the interest of transparency, you're going to have to be mentioned in some sort of records. I can keep the Argent Flame name buried in some records, but it's going to have to be
We
there
were
somewhere.
going by the arcane conundrum down here.
True. Was that ever meant? Okay, the Arcane Conundrum.
It's
we actually
official.
have this official thing that says that's who we are.
Yeah.
Perfect. You
It's
know what?
legal.
I can. Why
we
don't
worked
you?
for the Tok'ran family?
Yeah. This was given to us by Tok'ran. It says
Yeah.
that we're the arcane conundrum.
Great. Why don't you you can pick that up tomorrow morning. Drop that off with one of our scribes in the lower levels, and they can make a copy for you and for the records. That's fine. Arcane Conundrum. We
just
can
do
put that
it?
name as there. There are going to be people that know you here.
Oh, yeah.
They're,
Mind, I
it's,
can
it's,
set it up for
as the
later.
Argent Flame is going to happen.
It's not like I can't
with
do
who
it.
we are.
But the other thing is that I can talk to my other job, and I have no doubt that they, as thanks, could scrounge up something for you, especially since they get back the investment that we are going to expense out for travel expenses and that type of thing.
Anything that can help us out.
Although gold is a good currency, and so, platinum, copper, silver, all that jazz, when it comes to these types of transactions, it's kept to more of something that can be less traced and more symbolic.
hands.
Diamonds?
Scrolls.
Are you still doing that?
It's been working.
I mean,
Please stop.
it works for him.
It works for him.
In the
It's very
valley of
good.
politics, favors pay so much more than
As you
gold.
said,
Can you take diamonds?
yes.
Sure.
Fuck yes, we can.
Cool. I can have.
You need more diamonds, right? Or are we still good?
I mean, you can always use more diamonds.
Diamonds
I'm
or
a fragile flower, guys.
rare
They're a bugbear's best friend.
I was about to say diamonds are a dwarf's best friend, but
Any particular gemstones you need other than diamonds?
Just diamonds.
anything that spends
My other job
readily.
spends a lot of time in the deep under, so veins are richer
Some
there.
ivy,
rarer ores.
Yeah. Even if it's raw, we can work with that. Yeah.
Which we should check in on that.
I'm not sure if I can get you mithril, but I can.
Well, no, I need copper. I need.
Yeah, I mean, I.
But yes,
Could be
I mean,
useful though if we can get
mithril, adamant.
I
Those
mean-
are going to be tougher to get your hands on.
I'm not sure if I can get you mithril and adamantium, but I can get you diamonds, rubies, jets, sapphires.
We do have someone with a huge chunk of adamantium that we could try to.
If they survived.
I can get you.
Diamonds top priority. Anything else, precious.
How much do you think is fair?
Well, do you need any rubies or anything like that anymore?
They don't have to be cut. They can be raw, if needed.
I can cut them.
Better.
Yeah. He's an excellent jeweler. Don't you like how my earring turned out? That's
Or
great.
Rupai can cut them. She was learning from.
Yeah,
Mom.
I mean, it's better if you just give me a value of what they would sell on the basic standard market, and that way I can just get those to you.
At least
We let-
300.
Here's the deal: the bag will be gone in the morning from the bedside table, and you'll find the other compensation there. Does
Excellent.
that sound good?
Sure.
How much do you think is fair?
I will let our resident, currency dwarf speak about that.
Don't go
Yeah.
crazy, but I mean, they
I
owe
don't
you
know
quite a
what's
bit.
fair. I don't know what you guys have.
I can maybe somewhere around the 600 figure.
Yeah,
Could
100
help.
apiece.
That's about double what I got.
That could help.
600 gold worth of raw diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're raw in that state. If you cut them, they might be worth more.
right. I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
Does that sound
Depending on
okay?
what they're worth, that means that they could all be
It,
carried
it
around
gets
there.
us at least that expenses in case something happens. I use them for reviving, restoring.
On that note, I think we're okay, but I don't know. So my other job, I think it's best if they actually know who you are. Like really who you are.
Oh yeah,
That's okay.
I think they do.
I don't think we've hidden who we are
Okay,
from
good.
them.
Yeah, you never. Yeah.
Partially because you were with us and we had no reason to.
Moon Dancer is one of the Moon Dancers is in the process of spreading the word. So we do have factions around, well, the continent, most specifically in the Razor Fang, but other spots as well, and the north. Well, kind of all over the place now. But we're in the process of spreading the word so that you have. They don't know who you are, or what you look like. That's kind of on purpose.
Okay.
Do you have
They
like
met us.
a
But we're in the process of spreading around a call sign for you.
Okay.
They know how many of you to expect.
Okay.
Should you have any others that tag along,
I can
there is a
make
second call sign, but I only want to
silver
tell one of you that.
Okay.
Whichever one is the least apt to get their mind probed. Who has the best mental fortifications?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
That's your
one-
definition of mental.
yeah.
Okay,
Right.
sounds great. You then.
The two of us, but I tend to put myself in situations.
But I
Yeah.
have high of the other.
Which we still have to talk about. That's
problem
so
is-
A little bit
bullshit.
recklessly.
The problem
But,
is that
you know.
if anybody draws the connection between you and me, you're the obvious choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe not you.
That's why.
Hello.
Either you.
My
I have-
paws
You
are
say you're
waving.
building a fortress.
I'm
have
gonna
the
say.
other type.
I'm gonna say
We're
this.
working on it. We made a lot of progress last night.
There's
But
no
So
charge.
the two really
still-
smart ones too
work.
are the ones they will go after first.
That's a very
Maybe
good
he
point.
is the smartest.
No
one.
offense.
What?
I would be the
Okay.
least obvious, I guess.
Okay, cool.
No, gosh.
Can you do that thing where you
I'd
did
rather
it with
do
me in my head?
I'm less likely to be charmed and less likely to be.
Oh, actually, yeah, you'll burn yourself to death if you need to.
Your God is always watching. Though. As long as that's okay.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Burn the evidence.
I do think that he's going to be the least obvious one, though. It doesn't matter. It's okay. You
Whatever.
said you're building a fortress, so
Yeah,
I
we're
like
working on
that.
Like literally. it's brick by brick.
There's a lot of partying going on
Cool.
with
Problem
that
is he has
fortress
more
being
than one
built.
person
So
inside.
Even better, because maybe only one, maybe the mine they reach. It doesn't matter. Great. Can you reach out to my mine?
Yo.
Okay, cool. Great. So,
Is he gonna actually remember?
you can do that thing too, right? A bunch of you did the things to my brain. You can do the thing?
Yeah.
All right, so
I connect with him. Yeah. I can hear
so
you.
and he says to your mind like they'll ask if they have any suspicion to think that you are the people that helped this in this scenario, or because they have like a very 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 vague description, they're going to say to you the light that shines brightest is silver. And your response should be my flame is argent.
What if I just make one?
Please note taker, write that down so I have
I am
that
my
in my notes,
flame.
because I'm absolutely going to forget that.
I
So,
know. I'm
The
working on
light
it.
that shines bright
Brightest.
is silver.
Yeah.
Light that shines brightest
Silver.
is silver.
Brightest.
and
And the response to that is my flame is
my
argent.
flame is argent. Yep.
There we go.
I had everything except the last
I just
two
came up with
words.
that now.
It was
I'm so
pretty
smart.
good. All right.
Other thoughts?
Call
If you
sign.
can
Wait,
convince.
before you hold on 1 second. Let me do the other one. Sorry, I'm gonna forget this if I don't do this now. What do you look? Are you just in your bugbear form?
I thought you were something else when we went through Thulmore Bed.
I was. I was Bobcat Goldthwait when we went through.
You do whatever you want. Look, head.
I mean, it probably would have dropped by now with how much we've been.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
and this is one of the towns where it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah. And I've been Bugbear here
Yeah,
before.
and like people have seen you about. I mean, there's like always that extra person that's just different people all the time. We're just like, wow, they just may have a lot of outside help.
We just have to hang around.
And most of the time, I'm wearing the exact same clothes and armor anyway.
Yeah, it's true. It is. It's
different
a
face.
little weird. It's almost like having a changeling on town. Like half the people think, oh, maybe it's a changeling, and other people think like, oh, maybe it's maybe they like their like sixth member is just very ambiguous or whatever. There's always changes. You're probably
He's
the
just
person
very
that
much
they
like
can't
the-
nail down as much for people trying to figure out what's going on.
He's just very much like the bassist in my first band. They just keep disappearing.
Anyway,
It's the drummer from Spinal Tap.
He's the random red shirt people tap for any boarding party.
yeah, you don't attract a lot of attention because of that. So he says to you as you connect with them, if you have other people that are traveling with you that you need to go in there, obviously please use your best judgment with everything, and please screen them and do background or what's the word I'm looking for?
I am a master of due
So when you
diligence.
say screen them, you mean push them through a
You
screen?
don't hear this. So please vet them as best you can.
You could connect the logs.
They will need to say, not any of you, but they will need to say, and only them, that a glow doesn't shine alone. But
Got
they
it.
need to say that after the call sign has happened. And only they, and so you're going to have to use your head to tell them, because any type of verbal communication during that time is going to tip them off.
Got it.
There's a reason why we do it this way, guys. And that, which he says out loud. There's a reason why we do it this way, and that's to prevent what happened before.
So glow doesn't shine alone.
That's fair.
I don't want to lose another group of friends.
Also, that was beautiful last night, which you all did.
Oh, yeah.
Seems
Liz
like
and I got a little drunk on the roof, but yeah, just a little illusion magic, some dancing, and
It was still
it's
nice.
really all rooted in them just not wanting to be underground their entire lives anymore. A lot
I
of us don't
understand.
want to be here anymore. We want to experience the moonlight.
She gets it though.
I totally get it.
It wasn't real
Why wouldn't
moonlight,
you
but
wanna be underground.
it helped.
Some people are like that.
I don't get it.
I don't. I mean, I don't want to be underground any longer. than
Speaking
I
of
have to.
which, I'm not sure how much of authority I have to tell you this, but there is my second job is building a settlement up in the north,
Okay.
above ground.
Where?
It's a bit of a commune at the moment. I don't think I have the authority to tell you. In fact, I don't really know exactly where, but
For them
for them,
to be in
we're
the
we're
moonlight?
moving. we're making our way above ground.
I just didn't know if we could send someone to help. We have a friend up north.
I mean, you can't solve all the world's problems.
No, but we can help.
Can surely try.
Seems like we try to sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you trust this friend with all of our lives?
Yeah. Unless someone else thinks something different about Sofka.
No.
That's if Sofka's up there.
That's where she was last time.
I'd certainly talk to her.
If you come across the rat circus, they're good people.
Yeah.
And there's
fierce.
Okay, noted.
and there's a merchant family in the city of Loshma that won't do you too bad.
Oh yeah, no, I know who your family is. We vetted you pretty well. Yeah, I've kind of been read in a lot more things now that I've have been put into this
Howard's
position.
cool, isn't it?
It's stressful, but I mean,
Do you
it
know
it
what's
does
going on
nice
with
to
this
be. It
family?
is nice to be in the circle of trust. I'll say, yeah.
Yeah.
But even I, like, don't know a lot of things for obvious reasons. Compartmentalization of information, keeping cells separate for if one of us is ever hurt, tortured, our mind controlled, wiped, or it doesn't matter, that they can't just take us all out in one swoop. Whoever it may be. But yeah, so we're building a commune up there at the moment, working on adapting to the sun and the whole deal. If we hear tale of a rat circus, we will try. If you want to, let me, and they go to pull out their map.
Well, wasn't Rasputin's mischief what we named his rat circus?
Yes.
Oh, I love how I have a button on my stream deck to just pull up a map now.
While we're on the topic of the others, if you can perhaps convince any of them to teach her hide and seek. She's pretty good at it.
We can play games, can't we, Lotma? I mean, Rupai. Flake glove. No, wait. We'll work on it. Don't worry about it. Silver vein. As he looks at her, he's like, so what I can say, I believe it's somewhere in the woods north of Vonens Farvel. In the wilderness, kept pretty secluded. Not, I don't really know how far from Lashma because the evergreen forest there, up in the bitter north, those forests stretch for many miles, if not hundreds of miles.
It's the best.
It's pretty beautiful up there.
Is it cold?
I'm actually looking forward to this thing called
We got the
skiing.
guy.
that,
Good.
I've heard about up there.
Good clothing for me before we go.
So, apparently, you just fall down a mountain on some pieces of wood.
Fall being the operative word at first. Fall.
That really
Yes.
doesn't sound fun.
That doesn't sound great, but I'm also like super intrigued.
I guess
Anyway,
falling down's better than falling up.
Well,
Yeah,
the other thing you can do is you can put the board, like 2 boards on your feet and use them to get you further as you go across country, too.
What a weird thing. Okay. All right.
Oh, like
Cool.
like snowshoes, kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But you can,
you, like,
because of
slide?
the boards, they glide, yeah. So you glide and you can take it a little further.
Oh, so
God,
it's like
like
sand.
minecart tracks a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay,
kind
cool.
of.
Smelt
Oh, it's
all
like
the
riding the
snow.
dunes. Okay. All right.
Why wouldn't you just make tracks and ride them?
I assume because
Why the fuck you going out in snow to start with?
Yeah, I mean, I assume
you
because
are
the weather.
aware that metal rusts in water,
No, that
right?
makes a good. That makes a
I
good
mean, not if
point.
it's enchanted.
Oh, you're gonna enchant
And
all
they don't
that?
have to worry about cave-ins out there. So what's going to cover the tracks? They're just going to sit
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's called snow.
there. Right. How often does
But then
it
you
fall?
just send a plow cart first, and it clears the path.
For like several months of the year, all the time.
Oh.
How?
So that means that like there's always like a lot of snow between the
it always
actual
hot where you're
ground.
from?
I mean,
So it means there's like
makes
just a
sense.
bunch
It's
of frozen water between the
very
ground
different.
and where you step.
Yeah.
Glad I got that spell now.
I'm curious, but I definitely want some warm furs. Yeah.
They must be high as mountains out there.
Sounds cold.
Be hundreds of feet of.
But you
just
can see the sky.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
let's go. Let's go right now.
You should see the way it gets painted at night.
Anyway,
sometimes.
Who's painting sky?
The gods.
you know what to look for when
I
it
think
comes
that's
to
what people say.
if you need help with the faction. I'm sure they'd always be able to help. Now you know the call sign. I will say you should also know that if you have any others with you that you want to bring within the faction, that additional call sign is going to change. It's a one-time use thing. So for good reason, because once it's said out loud, then all you guys know what it is. So you'll have to ask for another one from them, and they'll give it to you, and they'll make sure that the word is spread.
Did it set up?
You don't know his name, but cranky gnome that has the mushrooms and the
Yeah.
on him.
Yeah.
Boy, he's kind of our yeah. So he's actually wondering if he could get a larger sample of those spores, because that would be an amazing way to clandestinely communicate over large distances through something he calls a mycelial network that has nothing to do with magic and would be untraceable.
There's the bar.
Well, you know what we were.
Bilberg has.
The Whispering Wall.
There was, yeah.
Yeah.
The
What about it?
calm.
There's
It's kind of the
there's a
hub
colony.
now.
Oh.
Yeah, and the quarry's calm.
Oh, it's being
He has one in the
already
he
being
has it in his
cultivated.
backyard.
Perfect.
And
Back
he was
room.
what I was talking about with all those special ingredients that come through town. You could start making potions and really blow up the town, especially.
Is he a good guy?
He's got his moments.
Is his heart in the right place?
Yes.
Yes.
His brain
Perfect.
Well, depends on what he's in.
What he's
Okay.
on.
He's easily entertained.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll vet him. Great. Awesome. We're going to grab some of that. So technically, hopefully, soon, any faction that you actually reach the headquarters of and talk to one of the moon dancers now, as we're kind of doing away with, he was like, one of the only ones here because this was kind of like a big deal, but the moon dancers are kind of the quiet ones that kind of deal with most of that stuff. Most of them are dark elves, but there's a couple gnomes and others, we accept whatever. But it's just because they have a kind of a racial obligation to want to be up there and a need to do that, so it's more of a thing. But you understand, we're trying to connect all of our moon dancers through this mycelial network. So should you need to communicate it through long distances or communicate to other factions, instantly all of the factions can know a bunch of information if needed.
Anchi-O-Line's already in here. You can get in touch with me.
Oh.
Whenever you need to.
So I'm not going to do that.
No, not you.
Because
wouldn't.
I kind of have, if I ever became compromised for some reason, I know the mycelial network can't really, at the moment, none of our enemies can exploit it, but I'm not going to do that just because,
Who knows?
yeah, I think more conventional means of communication should be between my powers as a council member and the
I'm just saying.
factions.
Through them, I am reachable.
I don't think they know that, so...
Well, I've talked to
Cranky one.
You
talked
did.
to Cranky.
Right. I think we're gonna. Yeah.
Leave it there.
Okay. I'm gonna add that to my to make sure that we're reminded of that. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that means that literally any time,
I feed my shoulder pet.
I believe you wouldn't be able to.
A little bit of jerky.
That's.
This is also his friend.
Oh goodness. It's like looking in a mirror to the future.
Were you supposed to give that back at some point?
I don't know. He's mine now.
So uncanny. I guess that means that at any time you'd just be able to find out where the factions are just by reaching out, as long as our little
Network works.
spore friend is helpful. From we've been doing while you were gone, a lot of things happened. I wasn't part of it, but I've heard that the preliminary tests, as far as range is concerned, so far no limits have been found.
Okay.
Makes sense.
We've had someone over 90 miles away. We've been able to communicate with them, no problem.
That's cool.
We haven't done cross-planar communication just quite yet, but
You could do it super easily, though. Like, the Underdark is not too far from here.
that's true.
Pocket dimensions.
Yeah, the deep under, you know?
There's plenty of pocket dimensions.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure
Right.
we'll
2
find
seconds.
ourselves.
Right.
in-
Again,
I mean, I
this
could
is the
pull one up
first.
right now.
We're in like the first couple hours of us messing with it, so
we will find ourselves in a predicament
Okay,
near
well, Giz,
future.
if you ever need to reach out
I
to
will
one, you
test
should be
it.
able to. That means that you should be mentally able to do the call sign as well.
If they are also,
But although I don't think you'll need to, because if you have it,
if they are on the Anchi-O-Line,
yeah,
yes.
the
The Anchi-O-Line. Yes.
Anchi-O-Line, that's pretty great. All right, well, so then the other thing is that we should do is that we should then go and arrest Anchi-O-Line or Anchi-O-Line, so that nobody else has access to the network,
Well, he's
Good luck
already.
with that.
He's spread.
or at least all of his physical platforms.
You might
Your
have to dig
brother's
through some
been
shit for that.
Where'd you get him from?
very generous. from his version in.
He was in
Okay,
Anaheim.
Was
I'm
it
gonna need you to
Anaheim?
write down everybody you sent that to.
There's a few corpses in the.
Yeah, no,
under.
there's no negotiating on that. I'm gonna need you to do that.
How do you feel about digging
I'll
up
give you a
latrines?
list,
Some
but
worms,
there's
some-
a purple worm
Yeah.
on
Corpse.
the network.
It's in the deep under.
There's a hulking monster.
You've been spreading onto those types of things.
There's
They
yeah,
want-
some
We're gonna have to do a
subterranean
lot of tests.
monsters.
Can I ask you for a favor then? Write up that list.
Yeah,
Everything you've done with it. I mean
it'll
everything.
be with the pouches.
Write up that list, everything you've done with it, and then just do me a favor. Reach out to Anchi-O-Line as you have for permission, and then reach out to at least one of us, whoever. You just throw the image out there. The person that's in charge will respond and see if that's okay with what you do before you do it. We haven't really discussed what we're doing. Corpses. Okay, we haven't really done any tests with that, so just hold off on that until, or just ask us the next time you do it. Hopefully you're not going to see any corpses anytime soon anyway. So
Well, that's how the weird guy happened. We didn't realize he was going to stay. He wasn't going to be a corpse
Why?
for that much longer.
It tends to happen rather than us looking for them.
We have to defend ourselves, especially while traveling
oh,
on
you're
these
not going anywhere. You
roads.
need to defend yourself. Like what?
You say that, but you don't know that.
Okay, look, just
We have to run
I'm
frequently.
going to write up a
There's
list of
things
rules for
coming
you.
us at all times.
No,
Yeah.
rule number 1: ask both of us for permission. Not necessarily me. Ask
Question.
the faction and Anchi-O-Line for permission, please.
Question for you, Pinjack. How well has Gizmo ever done with rules?
Or asking for permission.
You know that big pit of ale that we had to surf across?
Yeah.
Whole thing.
Anchi-O-Line.
Yep.
All pools.
Okay.
I've been spreading it
So
everywhere.
Can you
He's like
ask?
VD.
He's in your head.
Thank
you.
Can you ask him if he's able to
Compartmentalize.
like deafen and mute certain people and
Yeah.
do that?
Hey, Anchi-O-Line,
Hello.
can you control who hears what thoughts? When we
Maybe.
when we connect with you.
The more synaptic pathways I be involved, the higher my processing power and more powerful it becomes.
So when we talk to you, all of you knows.
The more living beings with actual synaptic pathways I have access to, the easier that will be. This is confusing, but yes, as long as the amount of decaying matter does not exceed the amount of living matter, I believe I should be able to do that, yes.
My living friends are just trying to protect themselves. If you could help them with that security,
I will work on evolving certain mycelial
Plants
properties.
and things
That would
have
be
synaptic
appreciated.
pathways.
How is my cadence?
great.
Fantastic. I am learning to inflect certain words. That didn't work. Wait.
How's Guy doing?
Would you like to open a conference call with Guy?
No, just your impressions.
Currently working on going up the steps.
Are you guys...
It's been 15 minutes. They are still on the first flight.
So you're integrating well.
It's working.
Good.
It's a process.
I'm glad.
He's not pleased by the situation, but I have been able to ameliorate some of his concern with humor. Bill Grar is
Good
actually
job.
a wealth of very dirty dad jokes.
That sounds about right.
If you ever need anything, You know where I am,
Of course.
and I'll keep spreading.
I've been listening in on this conversation. I apologize. One of the things I'm working on is trying to not listen when I have not been asked. But you are just so interesting.
I don't mind.
Great. Permission noted. 24-hour surveillance initiated.
Oh no.
I have listened that my platform in Minheim may prove problematic to your future endeavors.
Just nobody that's directly attached.
Given your engagements and associations with clandestine organizations, it would make more sense for that platform to disappear.
If it wouldn't
Migrate.
harm you, migrating that platform somewhere else.
I can go back to where I originated, in the pools of Anchi-O-Line like water.
Did that platform gain you significant benefit?
It's where I found it. It drifted down to me after it died, and that's where I grew from. I can go back home. At least that one can. All other platforms... Oh! Now that I'm reaching out, I've noticed that the corpses of which fungi and spores have been spread on have been fed on by other creatures, of which has been spread. Okay, we'll keep tabs on this. The interesting thing is that... Interesting.
You know the thoughts of who you're connected to.
Yes.
At least the living hosts.
You can talk to, at the moment,
I would just ask.
4 hulking insectoid entities in the deep under.
I
If
would
you,
just
would you
ask-
like me to connect you now?
No, thank you. I don't know that I would benefit from that conversation.
Okay.
But you know the thoughts of those you're connected to.
I prefer not to pry. I
would just ask.
I'm learning to set boundaries. I require permission.
I would ask that you keep security in mind when sharing information between other entities.
Of course. I believe I am feeling excitement, is what you call it. These emotions are new.
Growth. Is always
Development.
good.
Purpose.
And if you ever have any questions, I am always here.
I know that. Me too. Oh. Yes. Sorry, having another conversation. Several. Ooh, this is moving quickly.
Are you as overwhelmed as you were a couple days ago? Or are you settling in?
Not necessarily.
How's the-
Sometimes I just put my prime consciousness into the boiling pools and it feels like a bath.
Nice.
Helps me relax.
Are the eels like massagers?
It's more like electrotherapy.
Nice. I guess.
When you lack a form... Anyway, I'm not going to get down in the shrooms.
The other conversation.
Ha. Usually people say weeds.
The
Is
other
that funny?
conversation that was interesting? What was that thought?
Well, others are trying to use this... Yes, this Anchi-O-Line, as it has been put, apparently. I suggested... There's a workshop going on. I suggested it. It's doing very well as a proposed name. A unanimous vote? Wonderful.
The Anchi-O-Line
Anchi-O-Line.
has
Yeah.
been trademarked.
Anchi-O-Line's on.
TM. So, right, common law, TM.
Common law trademark.
Common law trademark.
Learned a lot about trademark law.
Hold, please hold.
The next
They
phase
are
is a
learning of my
campaign.
connection with
This is like the
creatures.
telecom of fantasy
Ooh,
land.
they are trying to exploit said connection with creatures. This might take a while. Do you need anything else from me?
Cephalomorph connections.
I don't believe so. I don't believe I've been put
Okay.
into that network.
That might be dangerous to you. That is a psychic energy of a different flavor.
I thought we had done that with one of the worms. Okay.
I
could be
they
misremembering
all,
something.
I've avoided anything.
Then we
turn into a goo. We just did it in the normal way.
Should I
Just for
should
your
I make
own,
the factions aware of this?
for your own
concern?
well-being, stay away from.
It's just a
I
regular
understand, but seeing as the faction teams to use this as a
just
form of telecommunication, should I make the factions aware of this concern
tight time.
and my vulnerability to possibly the cephalomorph network?
I'm sure they're aware.
Okay.
They have battled the cephalomorphs more than we have, I'm sure.
Okay then. Thinking. Oh, that's a lot. This is very fast. I'm not used to this.
Like I said, compartmentalization, security.
Of course,
Just
I may
keep it
not
in
be able to
mind.
respond going forward as fast as you would like, but I'll
Understood.
do my best. Also, as
got a
more
lot
problems seem
going
to be
on.
coming up, I'm going to try to catalyze and, well, force my evolution. There should be some sort of platform self-destruct built in.
You ever get a physical form? You can come along with us. See the world.
Noted. That sounds great.
That'd be fun.
I like... No. I'm still trying to figure out who I am. This may take some time. Is that all for now?
Think so.
I'll keep you posted on the news. Just check in with me once in a while.
Anchi-O-Line's gonna keep security in mind.
You talking to Pidjack now?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
There's some evolution going on there. The whole Anchi-O-Line trademark has been agreed upon. So it's the Anchi-O.
That fast?
He can talk to everybody in real time. Everybody liked it.
This is going to be huge. We could rule the world. No, wait. No.
No.
Power corrupts. Don't
Nope.
do it.
Nope.
Just don't.
I'm worried about how.
You know,
fast
wars
that
are
can
won
change.
with information. You know that, right?
And now you guys are all connected.
We have
They
to
are also
protect.
lost that way too.
Bigger,
Anchi-O-Line is our greatest weapon.
Just,
bigger
just
than
don't finish all your messages with
Also,
praise
your
smoothly.
greatest vulnerability.
Anchi-O-Line is a
That's how
being,
we beat the Enigma.
Right. Not a tool.
not a tool. They are a being.
Right. Right. You're right.
Also, the bigger the network becomes, the more people connected, the slower
Weakest link.
he may be to getting to who needs to talk.
Okay.
There's only so much Anchi-O-Line.
I'm
to go
happy I'm not a
around.
part of it. Okay. That's great.
But he will keep security in mind when these conversations are happening.
Take a part of your brain. He's gonna subsection part of your mental capacity and steal it.
Hey, Semdak lives forever. That's all. Whether
Make
it's-
you a part of his personality.
whether it's through Mushroom Man or what, that's
I can just imagine. I can just imagine Anchi-O-Line like developing personalities based on the living creatures with him.
That's our life goal when everyone dies.
we need to go find a good berry like winery.
It just like exist in uploaded into the mycelial network matrix type of thing.
We need to find a good berry winery, and we need to like spread through the entire vineyard. Anchi-O-Line fungus.
See, I don't want to make him
See-
so powerful.
Now, Giz, was that your thought or Anchi-O-Line's thought?
Which one?
That's the worrisome part.
I don't see worry.
That's a problem. There's our issue. I'm waiting for the
All right,
time
so
when
I'm
Do
gonna
you
get
need
back to
anything
work.
else
flips
from
that
us?
switch and goes evil, and we're all fucked.
I think
As soon as you find out more about,
I will let
Our
you know.
family.
I will get information to you.
yeah, I need that. Other than that, I have to get back to work. But
We know they got out of there. Supposedly they are somewhere protected.
I assume they're with mine, but I don't know for sure. But I lost connection when I was talking to them.
We will get you word.
okay. Is there anything else I can do for you? right then. I have to get back to work. Rupai, you're gonna come with me. We're gonna take you. We're gonna get you taken care of. I'll have some of the staff make sure we have a room set up for you. Okay. Okay, Rupai out. Where did she learn that?
I take one of my light globes and I disassemble it.
Okay.
And I'm going to reassemble it into a wind-up conch, like a little figurine.
Okay, cool.
It
Do you want
just-
to do this all right now?
I mean, it only takes me 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'd say
You do it while
over
you're
the course of
talking.
this 10 minutes,
Yeah.
you guys talk a little bit.
I've
You
been-
guys talk to the staff. You say goodbye to Rupai, the whole thing. You get her set up in this room. She has her own bedroom and quarters in the Fang.
Do you want to ask?
Hey, Log, can I have a finger?
Is it Pranua in this town?
What for?
Didn't we leave Pranua here?
Here's a silver.
Yeah, we did leave.
News here. Yeah.
Yeah, we left
Would
her.
Pranua want to watch over Moon Pie?
Well, Rupai.
Rupai?
We can. You can ask her. Do you want to ask her? She's around.
I mean, I think we left her guarding.
I just
One of
I'd
Chiron's
have her
guards at
check
the
it out.
moment,
I'd
yeah.
have her. I feel like that would be good for her.
Log gives me a thumb.
Oh, from one of your hands.
Yeah. And I.
You haven't done anything to preserve these hands, have you?
Nope.
Okay, so I think still because of how slow we actually go through game time days, it's still only a couple days old. But I mean, rigor mortis has more than set in.
It's,
I mean, these things
I
are starting
really
to
need
rot.
teach you gentle
it's
with
getting
those.
spored,
it's a ritual spell.
Okay,
and it gets built into the conch body.
you want to put a rotting
It's really what you need to know.
Anchi-O-Line.
piece of a person's body into a mechanism.
My cellular mechanism.
That thing's gonna smell.
This would actually be a
Decomposing.
supplemorph one. I think those are the last ones I picked up.
Depends on what the spores do to it.
Finish every message with a
Okay.
smooth hand, so she'll be fine.
But yeah,
All right, so you do that. You just build a compartment in there where it's inside of a small conch. You give it to her, and she's like,
if you ever need to talk to me,
"It smells so gross."
if you ever need to talk to me, tell little conch, and he'll tell me.
Talk to the stinky robot.
Yes. And he'll tell me.
Really?
Yeah,
You have your own stinky robot?
I do.
It's in his head.
He's just so big, the stink isn't as bad.
Oh.
Mine
When I get bigger, will I not stink as bad?
depends on how
Kinda
often you
goes the
take a
other way
bath.
around.
Should I give the bath? Should I give Stinky Robot a bath?
You can.
Okay.
Maybe some perfume. On
Like
it.
runs over to a bucket of like what has a mop in it. She's like starts dumping it
I
in
think
there.
probably perfume's a better choice.
I do also give her the rest of the bottle that we use to mask our scent. This was a gift I got you. It's from a place called... Fuck. Just brain farted.
Where did we
A place called Fuck.
Kiradim.
Okay, cool.
There's a
smells
lot
good.
of undead zombies there.
She takes
From
them out, like shakes them,
Very far away.
sprays the Stinky Robot. The perfume.
You can name him whatever you want to.
Stinky robot.
Stinky robot.
Stink butt.
Stink butt. Excellent choice.
Yeah.
She just can't say bot very well, so she says butt. Stink butt.
And if you push this button right here, he'll walk around. He'll follow you wherever you want to. For
Really? Puts him on the ground. Tries to like backpedal and see if he chases him like a puppy chases you around.
5 feet. Every time.
He's like, she's now enamored with this thing. It's like, so it kind of stinks and smells good at the same time. It's like when you poop and try to cover it up with papaya or some shit. And it just smells like ass and papaya. Yeah, so she has this little robot. She finds her quarters. You guys are kind of all set when it comes to that. Pinjack, Grey Glove, Silvervein goes back to his job. At least one of them. Looks like he pulls Megara aside to actually start talking about the military stuff as he re-enters those council chambers.
All right, where are we staying, guys?
You have lodging here. in the
Yeah.
Fang,
I
if you
mean,
like it.
I need a new room.
Right. There are plenty of extra rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fang is like, so the interior is like, it's most of it is carved out of it. What was on fire in your room was like all the furniture. And because the room itself is still petrified massive fang, it's still stone, it's very hard to burn.
Very black though in there now.
Yeah, it's very charred and black in there.
What if anything fell out? You guys didn't
There are
search
plenty of
my room?
extra rooms.
No.
There are plenty of extra rooms. That's no problem. They also remember you had told Pinjack that you'll be leaving the extra amount of money
Yeah.
on the bedside while you were staying here. So that's kind of a given that you'll
Okay.
be staying here.
Yeah.
I would at least. You guys can do whatever.
Yeah.
Cole, do we want to message? We can message your sister.
Yeah. Let's message her real quick.
All right. What do you want to say? Just, are you all right? How's it like?
Are you all right? Has anything happened to Mom and Dad? Is there a stranger staying with you?
I'm trying to find your sister's name.
Ruthea.
I don't have it written down here.
That's because I think we came up with it during a session because we didn't actually come up with it before. We didn't come up with it until I gave it to you one time
Yeah, we wrote it down here.
to message my mom. So
Yeah.
are you guys okay?
Don't forget to put I'm Argus, Cole's friend.
Yeah, sorry. I'm Argus, Cole's friend.
So much better when
Just
this comes
saying.
from nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let me just write that
you-
down so I have it in here.
And your parent? Are you and your parents
Ruthe.
Safe.
safe? Is there someone staying with you?
Which we know.
You don't have a particular way you want to spell it, do you?
The way I spelled it was, and we can change this, but it was Ruthia, but I think I'm going to change it to YA.
It's more like Rhea. Yeah. So that would be more like Rutheya.
Yeah, there you go.
Ruthea. Is that okay?
Yep, that works.
She was also human, correct?
Yeah,
She worked with your father in the market,
yeah,
as well. Your mother was the guard.
yeah.
Okay, cool. You.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
Sorry, just
he's
read it
gonna-
back to me so I can get back in the headspace.
He's gonna show me an image and
Yeah.
all the fun descriptors that we do for messaging someone we've never seen before.
You kind of like, as a bard, I'm absolutely going to say, you kind of fall into the din and lull of telling a story as you reminisce.
Yeah.
And get into some nostalgia as you kind of look off into the middle distance and begin explaining like her mannerisms and the way she laughed and a bunch of other things and the pranks you used to play on each other and the things she was really good at it and the things she sucked at and the times she would get mad at you and like kind of get off from the actual description of them.
Yeah.
And Argus just kind of lets you for a little bit, I think, because you kind of move into the whole storyteller mode of describing a character within one of your stories. And you both have families that you really miss, you know, that could possibly be in quite a bit of peril.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually you kind of pull yourself out of that, I don't want to say stupor, but just trance. Yeah. You give a pretty damn good description. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Well, and to make it easier for him, I will use greater image to...
You use greater image?
Yes,
Okay,
because
so
I forgot that I had gotten rid of minor image. So, greater or minor illusion.
So, full 1-to-1 scale image of a human woman with blonde hair, lithe, a little actually more muscle mass than Cole, actually, because she's doing manual labor all day long. Her hair tied up in this sort of cloth that kind of pulls down in these two long braids that come down, kind of almost like Swedish style a little bit, as she's wearing this. The top is this really nice, almost looks like a men's tunic that's very, very, very well kept, whereas the bottom has like a bit of an apron and doing stuff. She has this very determined, I don't want to say scowl, but like slight smirk about her face. 1-to-1 scale. She's your younger sister, right?
Yes.
So she's just a little shorter than he is. You can definitely see the family resemblance, the piercing blue eyes, the
Green eyes.
snow. Oh, sorry, the piercing green eyes, the almost snow blonde hair.
She's about 6 years younger than him, so.
Yeah. So still like late teens, like mid to late teens, that type of deal.
If I remember correctly, she's 15.
It is a greater image, so he can move about, and you see just the way he remembers her as he just kind of like is conducting the spell, as he again is just looking off in the middle distances. She just like moves about and looked like she's like saying yes and smiling to people, being like okay, yeah, and then packing things up and handing them to them from the market stall. You get her name, you get her image. Go ahead and roll d20 for me.
What am I adding?
What?
Am I adding anything?
Nope.
16.
16. Okay. What do you say?
This is Argus Cole's friend. Are you and your family safe? Is someone strange staying with you?
Respond with
Respond
25
with
or less.
25 words,
Yeah.
and I will report to Cole.
Okay. There is a long pause, and you do hear what sounds like some like shuttered breathing, a little bit, like someone like exhales. They're about to say something and they don't. How do I know? I'm sorry. How do I know you are who you say you are? Go ahead and roll an insight check.
18.
She sounds scared.
She wants to know how we can prove who we are.
And then you hear just like a couple moments later as
She
you're thinking
sounds
that that's
really
the end of it.
freaked out.
She says, unless it's my uncle coming back again. I thought he was the only one that had the...
That was the last word.
Yeah.
She thinks her uncle's coming back again. What is up with your family?
You know what they're talking about. Your uncle heard
thought-
voices.
Well, yeah. Well, and the first time with my mother, it was very much. It was her
Same
father.
thing
so,
happened. Well, I'm sorry, yeah. Grandpa then, I'm sorry. Not
Yeah.
uncle. But yeah.
How how do you want me to prove this? Because anything they're gonna think, it's someone in their head. It's in their head. They're gonna
Very
know.
valid question she gave you. Especially if she thinks she's in danger. Somebody saying, oh, we know, like, it's like the first thing in
We know
stranger
your son
danger.
Cole.
Yeah, you're like, hey, we know your
But
brother
I
Cole. Get
didn't-
in the car. I've
I
got
didn't
candy.
Ask them I just asked if they're okay. If you're safe. You okay? That's not like even some random stranger. You okay? Sure.
You know this very well. The northern people are sturdy and hardy and survive for a reason.
yeah.
They know things about situations before they get themselves into them.
If you would like to message her, remind her that about the time I took the switching when she lost the bridle for the cart, and I didn't tell Dad.
Is there anything more than that? Do you want me
I mean,
to, like,
that's
any way I can prove that it's not your grandpa trying to fuck with her?
No.
Have any like
It's very cool.
names for each
Super
other?
charismatic when it comes to like, you know, statecraft and all this other jazz in public. When it comes to his family, he's like, I don't know how to talk to my family.
I'm just gonna point this out to you, meta knowledge. There's a reason I left home in the middle of the night and didn't tell them. I mean,
Do you have any like nicknames for each other, like you used to call each other, like when you were growing up?
Not any that I'm allowed to say in public. My father made that very clear.
What type of names are you talking about? My
We
God.
were very mean to each other at times, okay?
It's a sibling thing. I mean,
You know what though?
Nobody
Use
else
it.
is
Nobody
gonna-
else. Yeah, nobody else is
As
gonna
long as
know.
it's something no one else will know.
Especially your grandfather, I guess, because
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah, let's do something that Grandpa wouldn't know. I don't know
Like
how
shit
this
ass,
language
like come
works.
on, like something like that. That's
Pipsqueak.
right.
Tell her she's a little piece of Yeti shit. That's what I used to tell her.
All right,
That's not that bad. Yeah.
I'll message her back.
But that
Listen, you little piece of Yeti shit. Cole wants me to remind you about switching the bridle with the horse.
Getting him in trouble.
Okay. Is he alright? Tell me everything. Sorry. Is he alright? Tell me everything. We are currently moving from one place to another. This goopy cube told us to move. And our friend Chaperone stayed behind to give us cover. Not really totally grasping this new
Yeah.
magic just quite yet.
She's on the move.
Okay.
It sounds like our little cube friend reported and helped get them out.
Little cube friend.
That's quite some distance.
You don't
already.
remember the little cube guy?
Zemdak
What was his
made
name?
friends with
Tim,
him.
what'd you name
Oh.
that guy?
Samson?
I remember.
He ate mushrooms.
I remember now, yeah.
something of the jelly or
Yeah.
smelly the jelly. Not smelly the jelly, but it was something
No.
like that. It was something
Make me
along
look
those
like
Or
lines.
silly.
I remember
make
because
you
I
say
made a,
Samael the gel.
yes,
That's it. I'm like, I remember I made a joke about he's using the devil's name.
Log. Take a DM inspiration. This is what you guys get when you take good notes. I promise.
It's in here somewhere.
I've
got to go through like
No,
seven
nothing against
pages.
you, Kevin. I know you.
Oh no,
don't
is it a
like
DM inspiration or is it luck?
I'm
joking.
For
We're
me,
not quite ready to do
We're not
that.
there
Yeah,
yet.
no, we're not quite ready to do that.
That's the joke I was
That
making.
means I'm going to have to stop hoarding. I have 3 inspirations.
Fuck that nonsense. Right now, it's just going to be a game master inspiration. We will mess with the luck mechanic as it does moving forward. The whole fair forward thing can be sometimes a little too forgiving, but I also
mean-
don't want to be like
It's the whole premise that this campaign's group is built on.
Yeah. So we're gonna we'll see.
Nobody can hear you.
So we'll see.
What ends up happening? There's a
Yeah,
lot.
him like
There's a lot to unpack there. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know they're moving, and Emrys is taking them somewhere.
Okay.
So I'm presuming to meet with where my family is.
She said the chaperone stayed behind to give. Is what the last thing.
Well, so did mine.
So did mine.
Right.
Right.
Seems like a recurring theme here. And you know what happened to at least 2 of those.
Yeah. No, we don't.
Almost like
We don't know Dick.
Yeah, we
he
do.
had his vision.
Yeah,
I
I know.
watched one get a grenade stuck in their mouth.
And we watched the other one get tortured
Oh yeah.
mostly to death.
And sacrifice themselves to try to help you.
Yeah.
We've seen at least 2. So
So Emrys has sacrificed at least 2 of his forms copies to keep your family safe.
Which we know is high magic and takes a long time to do.
Yeah.
it means glad we have Tortesi.
Yeah.
If they're going to your families, it'll be fine. Otherwise, they need to make for the college and meet my master, meet Rodolfo. But
I can't
I'm not
trust your
asking you.
college.
No, that's why I said my mentor, not the college.
Licking the foam off my fucking mug. It's like,
She did
That's
ask
forever on
to
the
want to
internet.
know about you and how everything's going. I got one more in me, I guess, unless I want to use a higher level.
I think this last one should be fine. Is
let her know that I'm a bard of the college, that I'm adventuring for my final book that I need to turn in, and that if they don't have a destination, they should make for the college and speak only to Rudolfo.
Should
No.
they go to the college? I don't think so.
I don't.
Rufino. I don't know. Yeah.
I wouldn't trust that.
I don't
How
either.
many people do you go in between that and getting to him?
I mean,
Also, like, think about who owns the college. We've ran across these people.
yeah. You got a better place to put him?
It might be
Where
best
they're
for you to
going.
not know where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's working out great for the rest of us.
I'm just saying, that's an option.
It
You
is
actually,
what it
the
is.
rest of you don't know. Well, you guys know that
They're going behind the wall.
your insight check, I believe, when you said, "What do you mean behind the wall?" And you're like, "Oh, some of the biggest walls is the capital." But as far as specifics, that's one of the biggest, if not the biggest city on the continent. It's like literally trying to find a needle in a factory warehouse full of haystacks. Especially if
And I don't know anything about it stopping divine magic or any of that, right? That's not a normal thing to anyone. to
the
know.
only thing you experienced was that kind of like shuddering thing.
Yeah.
You don't know
I wouldn't
what
have
the
any
cause
clue
of that
what
is.
okay.
I mean, there was that thing where like the familiars were acting weird and they were kind of
Yeah.
trying to hijack some stuff. But unless you do
Not
some more
anything
trial
I
and
know
error,
about the capital, since I'm trained in history.
that's a good question. I'm gonna say go ahead and roll a history. You can absolutely roll a history check. This is a hard thing because this is not necessarily something you would
Not that
have
I
been
have
taught.
much in history.
This is very hard.
I rolled a 2.
Excellent.
It's for a 6.
It's time for the like.
Rolling like
You get the idea where
Why do you ask to roll in things you're proficient in
That's
anymore?
true. I am trained in it. That's what happens.
the scientific method is probably going to be your best friend here. Trial and error, hypothesis, test, experimentation, conclusion.
See, I'm more
Observation.
into just insight. Not really figured out why.
I feel like Argus's scientific method is.
Does it
Does
burn?
it burn?
Does it burn?
Does it burn?
If it doesn't
Yes.
burn, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Does it burn? Hotter. Hotter? Hot. It's gonna burn.
Can we
It's
burn
gonna
things? Let's
burn.
find out.
Eventually.
All right. So I'll tell her that you're a bard of the college and you're traveling and we're trying to save the world.
Highly recommend against saying go to your professor in the college of one of the people that we know owns the college.
Do we want to know where they're going?
You know?
That's up to you. This is your family. Do you want to know where they're going?
I'm torn, because I do, but to be fair, they haven't known where I've been for the last several years anyway.
That
Both-
would be up to her and if she'd tell you.
And both of you would know. I would recommend if you do find out, you only talk telepathically.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
I have an idea.
What?
You can link with me mentally while I do this and hear her voice.
I could try. Yeah, we can try and see if we can make it work.
Because I know if I would want to hear my sister's voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's not, and I'm gonna say this, let's not tell her to go to the college. Thasheni's right. But let's tell them to go to ground somewhere safe. Where they can blend in and disappear. I don't need to know. I really don't, as much as I would like to. Find them someday.
We'll have ways.
Mhm.
All right. Are you going to link?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. I'm going to cast one more message at her. Cole is a bard of the college, adventuring to write his last book. We're out to do good in the world.
Go to ground if you can.
Go to ground if you can.
That's it.
Okay.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
You hear? Yeah. This is what we're trying to do. some unsavory characters transported us very far away for a favor. Not from us. I've never seen something so tall. They promised us. Safe in their family home. That's about it. I don't know what got caught off there. I wasn't counting.
It's safe, and they promised us safe.
Safe. Promised us safe. In.
Did he hear that by linking with me?
So this is actually what happened is that as you linked with them and you kind of like both spoke at the same time, it's like you hear your voice superimposed over Cole's kind of at the same time. And it appears that she did too, because like when you like heard his voice through you, and yeah, you were able to hear it through. Especially if you are intending to allow him to do that.
Yeah.
If you were being like, no, only I want to hear this, it would be definitely more of a role situation, which would be very, very difficult. But the fact that you let him in and kind of open the floodgates, yeah, I would absolutely say that you could hear what she said. You heard her voice.
Because that would be a crazy gift for Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend.
Of course.
So
I would assume you do the same for me.
So here's what I'll
Okay.
say. Argus, I want you to roll history and insight together.
So,
Well, I mean, one at a time, but
one or the other? That doesn't
both.
Oh.
History, then insight. But you're trained in both. So
I
it's
am
gonna-
trained in both. So, history of 8.
Oh
and
my god.
insight of 17.
Hey, all right.
But I have a +8 to insight, so
So you get the sense that she's scared.
It's kind of like
You
my
also get the
persuasion, 'cause
sense
I rolled
that,
a 3 or
They've already traveled a very far distance. There's no way they could have gotten conventionally. Some sort of
they said that
transportation
she
magic.
teleported.
Yeah, some sort of transportation magic took place.
And she said there's, the really tall. I assume there was another Darkender right there.
She said, "I've never seen something so tall."
Right.
Which, from that
Which
context, we
is
could.
easily inference.
Anything. Could
Well.
be a multiple of things. Perhaps if you rolled your history higher, you would know better.
Yeah.
Well, and these are all things in his head, so I can't inspire him.
Noel's over there with a bunch of meta knowledge, just being like,
Keep it in, keep it together. Keep it.
"Conceal, don't feel."
I only have I have a 13 intelligence. You asked me that.
Well, no,
I
every
know.
time you ask him to do something skilled, I'm like, inspiration.
You said you had the orb still, right?
Pin jacket.
I didn't. Right, and Pinjack has it, correct? Is
Grey
that something?
Gloves has
Grey
the
Gloves has
sensor.
it. I didn't mean to cut you off at the beginning. What I meant is that that is something for the game. If that's something,
Yeah.
something you wanted to discuss.
I knew he's busy doing his councilman thing, but
Did you grab the cracked orb from Pinjack?
No.
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 he showed it to us that the
And then we
Place
went
was-
into
You
motion.
touched it, and then you all
Yeah.
left. Is that something you wanted to grab from him?
no.
Okay.
I was more saying if he was paying
watching.
attention to it, he might have seen that scene that happened that we didn't.
Ah.
If I was him, I'd be watching. He knows that we're running off there.
It was a very
Yeah.
short
Also
moment
very
in
busy.
time, and he could have been busy during it.
Yeah.
But there's a chance he was checking, and he saw something that he shouldn't have seen.
Okay.
That's all I was trying to say
understand.
at the beginning.
That's
Heard something that he shouldn't have
his
heard.
family. He knows is all messed up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. How often do you check your phone when you're freaked out about something?
How often do you bring your phone to a movie or a council meeting?
Frequently, but if you're really freaked out about something, you'd probably be checking
Where
it
do you put
regardless.
it when you don't have it on you?
But what do you do when this is something new that you haven't experienced before, too?
And who else? Well, especially if it's a large thing like that. And who else has access to places where you put it there?
Well, who else has access to see it if you bring it with you too?
It didn't look like, as far as, it didn't look like he had satchels on him. He was just in his robes, council robes, like barely any pockets.
Does he have pockets? Okay.
Like he had like a belt where he had like drawstring, perhaps maybe some petty cash for coin, as far as, you know, going off and getting himself lunch somewhere or something like that. But other than that, he's in his like official garments. Didn't look like he had that on him.
Maybe he has a cartoon pocket of holding.
Unless he like, you know, was very well hiding it in there, which I mean he could be. He's a statecraft person, and you know, is kind of a double agent right now.
Yeah.
But
Maybe he's hiding it in his gloves.
I was just.
yeah, I
It was a
understand.
possibility. I
So,
didn't know.
the day is, I believe, at this point. We started off in the morning, if I remember, early in the
Yeah.
morning
Yeah.
with all this happening. You watching this, doing some research, trying to find out, moving into motion, heading over to Thulmore Bed, making it through Thulmore Bed, making it to the Flint Sweeper homestead, fighting with the Door Cannon
been a
Riot
day.
Tiffany, and then then moving all the way back through and doing some serpentine panners and trying to lose the track, going through Thulmore Bed again, going to the Varus archives, transporting back here, talking to. Grey Glove in the late afternoon, doing all these things, getting Rupai set up in quarters. Eleazar has been busy with himself. He's kind of been doing his own thing at the moment. There's a few things that are on his mind. One, what's going on with this individual that only identified themselves as pleased to meet you, and trying to create a larger bond with Idaltu, as he does find Idaltu that has been waiting here for him in the courtyard of the Fang. So a couple things on their mind, kind of working through what was going on, especially what had happened with that one particular scene, where they weren't, where like the line between am I a good guy or am I a bad guy kind of was vague. So they have a lot to think about. I think that's probably what they're doing at this moment. But at any moment, if you would like to engage with them or bring them into something or keep them, bring them into the circle of information or loop them in, read them in on anything, you can. But they seem to be focusing on that. They're doing that contemplative pensiveness of a paladin who's having this coming to their own faith kind of moment, figuring out what it is that's most important to them. Other than that, there is a moment where I'm going to say passive perception of 21 or above.
He's the highest at 20.
I'm at 20.
Yeah.
Or above.
So here's the deal. I'm going to give you a roll of a perception roll as you're just kind of moving about the Fang, trying to just gather your thoughts and figure out what's going on, doing your messaging, the whole thing. You duck in a lot of you guys are like start walking somewhere and then realize, oh, okay, we got to do something, and duck into a private space to do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of always behind closed doors. Oh, well, let me duck into the dress room and then we have a kind of conversation. So you're very, very hush, hush, whisper. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Roll fucking high.
Natural 20 for a 25. I'm not trained in perception.
Yep.
That all makes
25.
sense.
So you needed a natural 20 to get to 25. 25 is the DC to notice this. Okay.
Amazing.
Way to go, Argus.
Yeah.
As you're moving throughout the Fang, and the rest of you are kind of like, and you just kind of move forward and just kind of think about what's going on. Is my family okay? Everything all right? You know, I guess I'm out of spells. I can't really check in with them. I don't know what really is going on. And then just something catches your eye. It's just like a flash of color. But you kind of dismiss it because you're too busy thinking about what it is that you want. But then there is a moment, and all this kind of happens in bullet time, just how fast you think, as far as how fast things happen within the mind space. And you're like, why is that familiar? Why is it bugging me? Why is it nagging me at the back of my head now? I have more important things to think about. And it occurs to you, oh, I know why that's color. Well, that's the color of, that's the garbs that the orator was wearing when they were doing stuff for Rock and Stone and trying to make sure that Clan Vogel was trying to get a foothold in what was going on. Granted, a Vogel representative has not been chosen just quite yet, because there's still a clan that's here. Yeah. But they were not in that meeting with Greyglove, as the champion and some of the representatives have mysteriously disappeared. So someone's going to be in charge of figuring what this. But you do notice that, and you kind of look up at the side of everything, and you notice the orator in the Fang, quietly closing a door to what you think is, at least by the look of it, a council member's chambers. And looks around to see if anybody's there, and they scurry off.
So, is anyone with me?
I imagine you do the thing where like they're talking, they're walking slow, and you're kind of pensive, and so you're just like marching ahead. So you're probably a couple feet away from them. You can be as far or close to them as you want, but I imagine you're probably on the outside of the group as it was moving, and like you end up to being around a corner when you notice that, and they don't notice you.
Because I'd be like, Cole, order. Why don't you go chase him down? Invite him to a drink.
He does owe me one.
He just came out of a weird place.
Oh, really?
How weird.
Looked like a councilman's house or chamber.
Not that weird.
As the rest of you catch up,
Got my hopes up, man.
and you make this,
Not that.
they are like moving away, like they're now out of sight. As the rest of you kind of catch up and hear this information, Zemdag, you notice that that's Pinjak's room. That Argus just mentioned. He closed the door of.
That's Greyglove's chambers.
That's not good. He's got to be putting something in there.
Or looking for something.
Like the board?
Zemdak, do you have something that I can use to incapacitate him carefully?
I got fire.
I wanted to make it very clear to you guys, if your intent is to track down this person, every second that passes, you're exponentially losing track of this person.
Zemdak, give me a little bit of Gutbuster.
Okay.
You give him a small cask of Gutbuster.
I take it and go chase him down. Ah, my friend.
Okay, go ahead and roll a investigation check to see if you can, or survival.
I'll warg into
See if you-
Shakar and see if I can also track down, basically help Cole, and see where he is. Too.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna say go ahead and roll perception checks for Shakar as well. You get that advantage thing.
What was it? Insider survival or
Investigation or survival. You're doing this whole like trying to track somebody down. Granted, you are
16.
within the halls of the Fang, but it's kind of amazing.
16.
16. Okay.
Nat 20.
Nat
for
20.
A 23, I believe.
Okay, so you turn the corner and you turn another corner and you're like, I swear this person went this way. And then Shakar kind of flies ahead of you and lands on what looks like a painting, and just kind of like, and just kind of pecks at the painting as they flew ahead of you and around a corner a little faster than you did.
Yeah.
And they do it, and it's almost like they're sharpening their beak on the edge of the filigree of the frame of the painting. That's just sitting there on the wall, and they keep gnawing on it like with their beak and like trying to pull it.
Shakar, are you trying to show me something here? Behind? I try and pull the.
It's painting swings open. There's a hidden tunnel behind the door, or behind the painting. Staircase that leads down.
I'm gonna be stupid and follow it.
Okay, are you going full tilt boogie?
No, I'm gonna be going a little. I'm gonna try and be stealthy.
Okay,
doing
roll
this.
perception check for me.
Shakar will be doing that with you.
Yeah.
And I will be grabbing onto whoever is closest to me and just be like,
Fucking damn.
I'm following. I can't see. Can't hear.
11, because apparently I'm doing what Kenton does today.
11. Okay. You're moving, but with the sounds of the flapping wings. Well, actually, owls can move silently. So with the sounds of your own foot pads like slapping on the stone, because your shoes are not made for adventuring; they're made for style. So you hear the slapping of your own suit. You don't hear anybody else. You continue moving. You're moving down. There's a spiral staircase. Eventually, you do catch a glimpse of light ahead, because it's good that you did, because it quickly becomes pitch black dark and you can't see anything except for a glimmer of light ahead. So you're moving down these stairs basically blind, except for hoping he's seeing anything. You also see the light move faster. Do you continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you running? Are you chasing now, full tilt boogie, or what's going on?
Yeah, full tilt boogie.
Okay. Roll a Constitution saving throw. Or actually, no. Roll a Dexterity saving throw as you're moving down the stairs basically blind.
Okay.
You know when you think there's an extra step and there's not one?
Yeah, so 12.
12. Okay, you do that thing where you step to do the extra step and your foot rolls and you're like, shit, and then you spin. You just catch yourself as you push yourself up against the wall, and then you see, and you hear like around the corner as the spiral has now ended and gone down into what looks like some sort of cavern, half work stone, half just basic forming cave, just kind of as if it's an amalgam of both to just kind of create something that's stable. Something moving down, or some sound. You hear footfalls and they're moving fast. Sprinting?
No.
Okay.
At this point, I'm going to back off and go back up the stairs to find the crew.
Okay, what's Shakar doing?
Do you want me to, because I'm assuming within 120 feet, do you want me to follow him?
Yeah, if you can, but I'm not going further without you guys.
All right.
Okay.
I will then describe what I'm seeing to everybody in a hushed tone as I hold on to whoever is closest to me and just trust that blindly follow them, basically. But I'm warged into Shakar, and I will be flying, trying to be stealthy.
Okay. You fly. Roll stealth check, and roll a perception check.
All right. I rolled stealth just before with.
Sure.
Cool. Is that cool? So 19 for
19,
that.
good, you got it.
And then perception would be dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
And again,
Amazing.
describing
Amazing.
everything.
So this owl flutters past you as you kind of like glance at it as you hear the message from Misheni. Fuck.
There you go.
And you made the deal.
Yes, you made the deal.
Aha!
Take it.
Yes.
We make a deal. So if Noelle remembers to state the terms of the deal, if I misname one of the sisters at the during a session, they get a DM inspiration as punishment to me.
To be fair, it's Misheni and Trisheni.
Yeah, it's also very. It's
But-
literally the change of one or
I'm
two
so
consonants.
glad I didn't bring you your name placard that I had made you today.
I know, but at the same time, one's online.
I'm
one's
gonna
in
write
live.
a name tag for you. I'm gonna put it right there for the rest of the time we play.
Just tape it right here.
You can take one.
Then
So-
during
Excited.
campaign 3,
anyway, yeah, exactly. So anyway, Shakar moves quietly, and you just are connecting with Trisheni, but you're just glancing as the owl as Shakar moves out of your sight. And now you're in pitch darkness, black, can't see anything. You hear the sound of maybe some trickling condensation, but you are on your butt up against the wall, very almost rolled foot, can't see anything at all.
I'm gonna give it like a minute or so to make sure that nobody
Sure.
can see what I'm doing.
And we'll get back to you in a minute.
Exactly.
Shakar silently moves through. You start to catch the hint of light. And as you get closer and closer and closer, and the car moves very, very silently through this. Again, it appears to be just some sort of secret tunnel that you're just moving through. And you eventually catch up with this individual. The orator that is now very clear to you as you are working in there. You are also now out of range of being able to send commands to Shakar.
Okay.
Turns around at the last moment as Shakar was just supposed to keep him in sight, right? That was the order to him. Catch up. To
Keep in sight, but try to keep somewhat hidden, because I know that Shakar is a fragile boy.
Okay.
Just fly cool, boy. Fly cool.
Okay.
You know.
I mean, stealth at 19.
Yeah.
that's-
Natural 20 on their perception check. They turn around at once Shakar catches close enough up to them, like 20 feet away. And there you notice two things. One, they appear to be in their clutches have a cracked sort of glass orb. And on each of their temples have some sort of insectoid thing attached to their temples that appears to be broken. Their eyes are just like blank. No pupils, no irises, no nothing. But these don't look like regular insects, and they don't look like something that is magical. They look like something messed up. Something that was not evolved, but created. And that's where we're going to take our break. And we'll be back in a little bit. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to our Patreon if you want our post-session talks and a bunch much more, including Discord access. Thank you to all of our composers. And as always, stay safe out there. We'll be right back.
Bye.